I would like to know what is love. Can you tell me the meaning of love? I wanna know. Can you tell me the meaning of
what is love? Is it that feeling you get? Cheek to cheek, up closer than a bit. Is it even a feeling at all? Sitting up late nights waiting for phone calls. Is it chocolates and roses? Hugged up with your poses. Trips to Cancun. Honeymoons, candlelights and full moons. Is it negligees and arm sex? Or shopping sprees and fat checks? What a song baby it is. Monogram afros, hers and his. Is it that new car smell? You got that whiff and fell under that spell. Is it stalking exes and felonies? Or cat fights and jealousy? And if I'm down to my last, we split that bitch in half and have a blast. Or riding on that enemy, we can pitch that death or even injury. I don't really know the meaning. Diligent hopes to awake from this dreaming. I think deep, meditate on these lessons. Life's a bitch, which next beckons the question.
I would like to know what is love. Can you tell me the meaning of love? I wanna know. Can you tell me the meaning of love?
I had this love once, thought it was love once. The type of love once you feel that you can't front. I was in her and she was into me, but eventually it changed drastically. Went from a hot thing to about what I'm not thing. Sometimes folks change in pursuit of both things. Twist and turns, live, love, and learn. But what I know is that love you can't earn. It's like the smell from a child, unconditional. But things fall apart and get critical. But if it falls apart, could it be true? Or just something to do to pass the time through? I don't really know, so I search for the meaning. Diligently to awake from this dreaming. I think deep, meditate on these lessons. Life's a bitch, which next beckons the question.
What is love? Can someone give me understanding? What is love? Someone help me, help me, help me to understand the meaning.
You know, it seems sometimes the people that you're closest to seem to become your greatest enemies. You know, it's just like they say, familiarity breeds contempt. Unfulfilled expectations, hopes deferred, and just make that heart sick. But you just gotta understand and know, before you can love anybody else, you gotta first love yourself. But you gotta know that there's somebody out there that loves you more than you ever know. Until you can connect with him, love is always gonna slip right through your fingertips. And you'll never know the meaning of love.
Shalom, 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 peace. Shabbat shalom to the family. What's up with everybody in the house, man? It's your brother IQAhmath, IQAhmath, first name, IQ, it's all the same. DSTM, episode 236. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Hopefully, everybody's doing well on the Sabbath, man. Hate to sound like a broken record. Y'all double check your notifications. Make sure that YouTube is notifying you. The channel's being shadow banned again. So, I'm getting multiple people letting me know that they're not getting notified when we're going live, when our classes are going on, when DSTM is happening, Torah Tuesdays. They have no idea. People wondering, oh, are y'all still active? Like, yes. But if you leave it to YouTube, man, we're on the down low somewhere. Who knows where? You know what I'm saying? So they're actively trying to shut us up again, or at least withdrawing and withholding notification for brothers and sisters, man. So for some of y'all are getting them, I've gotten them, but others aren't. So it's selective, you know. When you got a subscription base and you shut off, 2/3 or 3/4 of them, and you let a few of the 1/3 or the whatever percentage know, uh, it still impacts, people's availability to see the information. So also, make sure that y'all, wipe your feet. You know what time it is. You dig what I'm saying? You know what time it is. That also lets the algorithms know, man, back up off of us. Stop trying to control what we can say or what we can't see or what we want to hear, what we want to watch. We're watching this over here, and let everybody know. Let the algorithms know. Then they'll notify other subscribers and people can kick in. As you notice, sometimes the viewership picks up as the time goes on. That's because people join in late. They get notifications late. Once we start liking the video, then people could start, realizing, oh, he's live. But outside of that, man, what are you gonna do? We're fighting against this damn beast system, man. And I got a stone and a slingshot, man, and we trying to take down this damn giant. But we're gonna do it together, y'all. So all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. Why you shy? Here we are again, another blessed Shabbat. Hopefully, everybody, if you're keeping the calendar as we do, we'll be preparing for your Day of Atonement. I know a good amount of camps are keeping it this evening, I believe. So hopefully, everybody is preparing themselves and are ready to seek the face of the Most High 10 times or more, man. The spirit of repentance, forgiveness, reconciliation, remembrance, restoration, rest. There's so many R's that can be attributed to this day, but in all reality, which is another R, man, we need it. We need it, you know, um, to be able to have an opportunity, man, for the Most High to hear our prayers and supplications, man, to be open to forgiving us for our transgressions, past, present, and future, and for us to restore ourselves in a fashion where the Most High can deal with us as true and upright tabernacles, man. You can't ask for nothing more from our Father, man. So take advantage of the day. Don't do it begrudgingly, do it willingly. I covered proper way to fast according to the scriptures on Thursday. Um, a few people a lot of people haven't seen it, gotten, notified about it or whatever. But if you haven't, go over that before Day of Atonement begins this evening and make sure that you're on point with your fast preparations. And then we'll go from there. All right. There we go. Barb. Okay. So when I ask everybody to wipe their feet, I'm just asking to hit the thumbs up button. It's an ongoing slogan and joke I got going on over here. You come into the house as you would any other home. You come in, you wipe your feet. That means hit the thumbs up button, show some appreciation for the content, and then come on in the house. The food is ready. Everybody's sitting down, ready to eat. We're sharing on this plate, and that's what that means. So when I say wipe your feet, just means hit the like button, man. That just triggers the algorithms to acknowledge to YouTube that you're watching and there's interaction going on this particular platform and this channel, and the algorithm say, oh, okay, there's activity over there. People are liking this. Let's notify other other subscribers, people that are looking for similar content regarding current events and Hebrew Israelite content. The algorithm lets it be known, and then they start sharing it out even more and puts it more at the forefront of searches um, in the YouTube platform. So hopefully that makes some sense. The water for asking. The water for asking. Some people just don't even ask; they just continue on. But at least you're seeking understanding. That's good. All good. Appreciate it. All good. All praises. All right. So shalom to the fam, man. The Shar in the house. Shalom to you. All right. Rosa Marie, shalom. Glad to see that you're preparing. You're getting ready. I know you're like what 6 hours ahead, 6 or 8 hours ahead. So it's countdown time for you pretty soon. So all praises, man. We'll be keeping you in the prayers that you keep it, um, and have a prosperous and a enlightening and encouraging atonement through the Spirit and the power of the Most High. Yahweh Bayan in the house, shalom to you and your household, man. The house of Byron, shalom to y'all. Kohath, shalom to you. Diz the Wiz, my sister, shalom to you. Shalak, shalom. What's happening, Nak? The house of Elkanah, my brother and my sister, my family out there in Jacksonville, shalom to y'all. Uriah in the house, shalom to you. All right, so anybody and everyone else who's joining in at a later time and date, shalom to y'all. All right, got a few things we got to cover today. Let's get to it. Share the video, put the information out there. That's what you can also do as a fellow believer and a laborer in Christ. You can do your job just by sharing the video. You say, well, I ain't got nowhere to share it. Hey, if you got an email contact list, share it to people that you might, find biblically inclined, or people that are looking for answers regarding what's going on in this crazy world. Share that. You got it on your Instagrams, your YouTubes, whatever, your Facebooks. Share it on those. And we can continually build towards getting and attaining the kingdom of heaven. All right. So let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. Let me share my screen. Oops. Let's go. Oops. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, here we go. Let me get to my back. Why my screen ain't sharing right? Okay, let's go. I'm gonna get it right one day, y'all. Bear with me. All right, so you can see the title. The title says, on the video, a kingdom divided. Let me do it this way for right now. A kingdom divided. The Mississippi River's drying up. You got strikes, wars, cyber attacks. What's next? What is next? I mean, you've got to be living in some damn crab hole somewhere to not realize and understand that the state of affairs in the world is going to hell in the handbasket fast. And we've got to start calculating and understanding what's going on. One thing I've noticed of late, and not even of late, but over the last year or so or more, how much Esau's kingdom is dividing. Not only within the system of the beast and the great whore right here, Babylon the Great, division is present and in our face all day long, but also worldwide. World powers are dividing themselves. Once we understand and we know those things, we know that the kingdom of Esau, man, is pretty much a wrap. His kingdom is coming to a close fast and furious. All right, let's get to let's get a couple scriptures. His kingdom is coming to a close, and that's what we need. That is exactly what we need. If we're to inherit this kingdom, we're to get back to inheriting the kingdom of heaven, getting back to receiving the earth, which was made for our sakes, according to 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. The earth is ours, man. These people are out here on, got it on loan. They're squatting in our land. They've inherited lies, and they're out here living their best life in the name of us and our ancestors. But at the same time, they're going to self-implode. Just like the scriptures let it be known, man. Pride go before destruction. There's no one more proud and more boastful than the so-called white man. He's going to self-implode. He's going to turn on himself. That's how much of a parasite and a demon that he is that he doesn't even care if it's his own. He will attack, destroy, confuse, poison, as they race to the top to see which one of them can be the leader of the kingdom. But in doing so, they divide themselves. I mean, just look at Rome. Rome being, or America being the offshoot of Rome, or coming out of the birthing of Rome, they're following along with the same patterns as their daddy. Rome being divided within rulership, Rome being in debt and overspending, Rome's overextension of the military, all kind of things that we see. Everything that we see that America's doing is the same patterns that Rome fell victim to. Devaluation of the currencies, all of that. Okay. Reading in Mark, the 3rd chapter, 24 verse, it says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. That's red letter. That's coming from Hamashiach Yahweh's mouth himself. So if he acknowledges and says, this is the standard of kingdom rule, if it's divided, it can't stand. It will fall. That's guaranteed. All we have to do is watch, wait for the signs, observe, make sure that we're staying in right order with the Most High so that we can see through to the next kingdom, which is the kingdom of Christ. That's what we need to do. It's guaranteed. Isaiah 19. And we're seeing all of these things play out now. There's no more standing in unison. When they had 9/11 in 2001. Oh, stand up for America. Everybody's waving their flags. We won't forget. All of that foolishness, man, talking about these are the things that bring the country together. Ain't nobody talking about that no more. Everything is divided. Nobody's talking about stand together for Ukraine. That's out of here. Don't nobody give a damn about Ukraine no more. Every little thing that they try, we've got to stand together and save each other because of the new scandemic that's going on right now and the new scariant. We need to save each other. Stay 6 feet. Wash your hands. Put your mask on. Save your fellow American. Ain't nobody doing that no more. All of the plans, all of the things that they've been trying to align and say, hey, we need to pull together. No, it's more divided than ever. More divided than ever. Isaiah 19, reading 1 and 2, it says, the burden of Egypt. Egypt is America. Spiritual. Let's go there. I know everybody should know this by now. But those that's new, we'll get it in the spirit. Revelation 11 and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. The great city is talking about is Babylon, according to Revelation 14, I believe the 8th verse or the 6th verse. Let me make sure. I don't want to misquote nothing. Yeah, 14 and 8. Okay. Reading that, it says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So Babylon, which is America, the land of confusion, the land of our captivity, the scriptures acknowledge that it will fall and it's going to fall, and it was acknowledged as being a great city. So yes, America has been the empire of the world, the empire that controls all. And all nations come and they drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication. They all involve themselves. They all get in bed with the great whore. They all commit all manners of fornication and evils with it. They get their money from it, their exports, their imports, their religious debauchery that goes. The religious understandings they get, all of their sexual fornications and debaucheries they get flowing out of America. Anything that you want, you just come to America. All your dreams will come true. That's why all nations are down at the borders, flooding, trying to get up in here. They concentrate on the South and Central American countries coming in, but there's I just covered an article last week, I believe it was. They said it's over 70 countries. 70 different countries of migrants are coming, and they were coming from the northern border in Canada and America. I think like 6,000 they caught. So it ain't just the South and Central America. They're coming from all over, including Ukraine, including the Middle East, various countries in the Middle East, including China. Is they saying that China? I think they said China has the biggest amount of immigrants on record right now, flooding in South and Central America, Haiti, Cuba. They're coming from all over because they all want to sip. They all want to taste. They all heard the rumors. They all heard the reputation of this whore, America, that's promising dreams and satisfactions and all kind of um vain imaginations for everybody to come on in. She's gonna make all your dreams come true. She's gonna love you long time, and all the nations come. But the Lord said that this place is gonna fall, and it will. Getting back over here to Revelation 11 and 8, it says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city." So the bodies of the saints have been lying in this great city, man. We're talking about millions upon millions of saints and Israelites that have died at the hands of the so-called white man and his regimes under the auspices of the British, uh, the Portuguese, the French, the Spanish. Okay, all of the above have killed, raped, robbed, murdered, maimed, hung, lynched, burned our people, uh, established false peace treaties, stolen lands, colonized whole countries. We're gonna look at that in a little bit later too. I got an article, man, that y'all gonna trip off of. Okay, dead bodies lying in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So this is one thing. See, my mind's racing a million miles a minute. But check this out. We're talking about the spirit that displaced it, because we know old Sodom in Genesis 19 has been destroyed, and I got an article and I got a video showing that archaeologists and scientists now have found evidences of the land of Sodom and Gomorrah being destroyed and burnt with fervent heat. Now it's not even in dispute anymore if this place existed. Mainstream news, archaeologists, scientists have found evidences, and what they're saying is, was it a meteor? Maybe a meteor did it. Of course, they're going to try to dispel that, bypass it and run it over to the meteor side of things. But they're saying they don't know the cause of the heat and the burning and the destroying of this particular city and place. Right now, they're saying maybe it was a meteor that did it. Yeah, well, the Most High said fire and brimstone is going to burn this place. They're going to burn that place down. So the Most High even said, man, that this place is going to receive worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. But it's embodied the same spirit. So we see everything that goes on, all of the sexual deviancy, all of the freedom of quote unquote expressions and all that other stuff, man, self-identification, do what you want to do. All those things embody the place of Sodom. Everything. People that, were complicit with what was going on there, may not have been completely active in it. Everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah was Sodom. No, this was the majority of the places where people were allowing all of this to go down. Whether they was actively involved or not. Obviously, everybody wasn't, because look at Lot and his family. But it was a den of damn demons, a city that was just allowing anything and everything goes. And if you didn't, abide by it, you was complicit and you was cool with it. Sound familiar? How everybody just runs around and always has to pre-qualify before they talk about, the LGBTQ plus HIV community. I don't have nothing against them. You do what you want to do. Whatever goes on in your bed, you do what you want. It's the same type of spirit and mentality that was going on in Sodom. That's why the Most High said, man, if they cool with it, down with it, man, burn everybody. Most High said, man, if you can find me one He told Abraham, he said, man, find me one. I think he said 10. He broke it down. He said, man, find me one that's righteous in there. Outside a lot, man, he got him and got up out of there. And everybody was gone. See, that mentality, that spirit can't be carried over into the kingdom of heaven. So this place spiritually is called Sodom because it embodies all of the spiritual attributes of ancient Sodom. It embodies all of the spiritual attributes of ancient Egypt, being one, of a place of our captivity, being two, a place where we're being multiplied, three, a place where we're going to be delivered from. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, a place, four, where we're coming back and remembering ourselves as we once were. Remember, Joseph and the brothers of Egypt, man, they didn't even recognize each other no more. And they came back to understand and know who they were. See how that works? Until we was raised up and got up out of there. And it says where our Lord was also crucified. So how does Yahweh get crucified? Through religion, false doctrines, iconographies that get plastered all over the place, Hollywood, radio, TV, film, gets put into open crucifixion. Religious doctrines that, falsify his stance. First of all, you change his depiction. Second of all, you say that he loved everybody. Well, if that was the case, why did he get crucified and killed? Anybody that comes in the name of love and you run around here, embracing and hugging and kissing everybody and you ain't got no problems with nobody, who hates a person like that? Who would want to put somebody like that to death? Somebody who's quote unquote non-threatening, if that's the case. They're putting everything that he stood for, being a revolutionary, standing up for his people, bringing the gospel and the good news and training up disciples behind him to carry on the legacy, to gather the lost sheep of the house of Israel, to shun and to, disannul the heathens and trying to merge themselves in, just like he did with the Canaanite woman. See? Now you switch all of that around and say, no, it was, I'm for everybody. Now you openly crucifying what he stood for. So those are the aspects that we see about Egypt, right? Getting back over here in Isaiah, the burden of Egypt. So speaking about America, America's got a burden to bear. Okay. And what's it say? Behold, the Most High rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. So the judgment of Israel is going to come by the clouds, which we all know right now is the chariots, right? And shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. So all of the idols that Egypt's got lined up, from the Statue of Liberty to the Washington Monument to the George Washington statues to the Robert E. Lee, statues that they got going on, the Baphomet, all these idols, man, is going to be melted and moved, destroyed when Yahweh Shai comes to bring hell on this place. It's going to be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So the mentality of Egypt, America, is going to be dwindling. Confidence in America is at an all-time low. People don't believe in America no more like that. And we see that happening now. It's just beginning. People are starting to lose faith in politics and the monetary system. They're losing faith in religion. People are running out of the churches in droves now. And those that are our people, man, all praise to the Most High, because that means that they got an opportunity to repent and come into the truth. But you can look all of these things up, man. Look up the percentages of how many people believe in America anymore. All those things is all dwindling now. Verse 2, it says, and I'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. You see now there's going to be civil unrest that goes on here in the cities. Just a small little sample was a little Alabama uprising. Then you see, damn near a month later, 3 weeks later, Aryan Nation is riding out in Florida. They're trying to make their presence be known. But even outside of that, you look in between politics. You've got the Republicans against the Democrats. We all know it's political theater, but at the same time, they're at each other's throats trying to gain power. They're trying to impeach Biden. They just uh, indicted that New Jersey senator who got caught up. Menendez caught up taking bribes of gold and money to help some outside business interests. They indicting Slow Biden's son, the dope fiend, um, Hunter Biden. They're getting ready to turn on McCarthy, who's the Republican chair, the House Speaker. They don't like what he's doing. They're getting ready to turn on him and they're trying to get him up out of there because they're saying he's a weak leader and he's a puppet for the Democrats and he ain't making good on any of his promises. So it's all in shambles. The dead, but what are they talking about? The government shut down. They got like 7 more days left to try to figure it out. Or they're going to shut down the government because they're divided on budgetary spending and all that. I mean, this is what it is. They're all divided right now. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. There's going to be complete uproar in this place. And we see the building blocks of it happening slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. See, because let's go to Malachi 1. And we'll start 1 down to 4. You know, these are the it's so funny, man, because the Christians, you know, they every time, you know, we're gonna go to Romans and talk about you know, how the Most High hates Esau, right? But knowing that this came from what was Paul quoting? He's going back to Malachi. You know, he's reading from a text that they all subscribe to, but they don't want to sit back and acknowledge and say, "Oh, well, you know what? Why did he hate Esau? What's going on with Esau?" So look at it. Malachi 1, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. See, this is how we see the mentality that Esau's got right now. When Joe Biden came out, why I call him Joe? Snow Biden came out and said, we're going to build back better. This was an indication to see that that's Edom, that's Esau, and this is his mentality. As he sees everything is, I don't know what he's building, but it must be a straw house, man, because everything that he's supposedly building back better is just crumbling even faster and more. I was telling brothers last weekend, man, I want either Biden to get reelected because we see under his watch, man, this place is falling faster uh, than, somebody done jumped out of a plane with no parachute. Or put Trump up in there because Trump is really going to go in there and be all prideful and boastful and he going to jack everything up. And he's going to go push the panic button and probably destroy every damn thing. One way or the other, man, them two devils, man, they can fight it out. I'll take either one. Because even if Slow Biden don't make it to 2024, even if he croaks, rolls over and croaks, whoever comes behind him, they'll probably be worse than him. But who knows? All I know is on the trajectory of things is going right now, man, Slow Biden is doing an excellent job of destroying America. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh, the power of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. See, as much as they try to establish and build peace treaties, negotiations, buying up each other's debts, trying to buy up agricultural land, they trying to, rebuild and trying to establish a whole new monetary system. The Most High said, man, all that I'm throwing down. In their mind, they're thinking trajectory, 2030, 2050, 2080. We got a whole game plan. The Most High said, man, I'm throwing all of that down. It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. See, the line gets drawn If you want to know about wickedness, man, the Most High said, look at Edom. They're the border. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. That's what a border is. When the landmass is, it's the beginning of a place and the ending of a place. Esau is that border. When it comes down to wickedness, you got to look at Edom. The people against whom the Most High hath indignation forever. See, there is no saving Edom. The Most High said he's got righteous anger with them forever. See, the Christians run around. He hates the sin, loves the sinner. Oh, Esau didn't repent. That's why he wasn't, but he still loves him. Where, when, how? Book, chapter, verse. What are we talking about here? The Most High said, man, he's got a righteous anger with them forever. Man, there's no getting around it, man. At all. Stockholm syndrome stuff got to stop. Second Ezra 6, 7 through 10, which is the beautifulest verses that we all look forward to. Second Ezra 6, 7, it says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So what we see and what we understand is going to be the end of the world as we know it. It's not going to be some big old apocalyptic, everybody on the earth dies. That's what the white man be trying to put out there. Oh, there's going to be a meteor that comes and it's going to destroy the whole earth. Everything's going to be destroyed. No. Keep listening to that fool, man. You're going to die with him. But there's going to be an end of the regime and the rulership, a transferring of power. There's going to be a transferring of power, as it says here in Revelation 2. Revelation 2:26. It's going to be a transferring of power, man. The end of the first is going to be the end of Esau's kingdom, man. There's not going to be another kingdom that rises up after him. That's it. Lamentations, I think it's the fourth chapter, tells us that our captivity is over. And Esau is going to, paraphrasing, Esau now is going to reap what he's sown. See, Revelation 2:26 says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. This is the transfer of power. And who's going to be able to inherit that power over the nations? Going back over here to Second Ezra, the 6th chapter. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, the dividing asunder of times, and when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Shalakia. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth it. See, the world as we know it ends with Esau's rule. And the new rulers will be Jacob and those who have endured and kept the works unto the end. Those of Jacob will have the new transferring of power. Not everybody, anybody, whosoever. No, that's it. Only from us. We've read this one before. Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. Speaking about who? O daughter of Zion. See, our punishment, our cursings, our iniquities have been pardoned. The Most High has now said we've paid our dues. Even Isaiah the 40th chapter, he said, man, we paid double for what we've done. But that comes to an end. There's going to be an accomplishment of that. And he will no more carry thee away into captivity. Where was our last captivity? Being held in the hands of the so-called white man. That's it. We're not going into captivity under the damn Moabites. Not going into captivity under Ammon. We're not going into captivity under Ishmael. They all had their turn. Read the book of Judges. They all had us already. But there's no other hands for us to go into. Damn near every nation that had us, man. The Persians, the Medes, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, Moab, Ammon. Everybody had a shot at us. So there's no place else to turn but for us to have our own back into the hands of ourselves and under the rulership of Hamashiach Yahushua. That's it. Most High said it. We will no more. He's not going to carry us any more into captivity. This is the last captivity, y'all. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, and Esau is going to pay because he went above and beyond the call of duty when it came down to his job, as far as being the whipping stick of the Most High. Proverbs 21:30 says, there is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against Yahweh. So everything that's going on right now, man, is of the Lord. The Most High said, man, the deceived and the deceiver is his. He said that he made the wicked for the day of evil. The Most High is in control of everything, man. Daniel, the second chapter, tells us that he puts kings and rulers in places and remove kings. So it doesn't matter what the think tanks, the World Economic Forum, what they call that place, Silicon Valley, all the tech, everything that so-called white man tries to come up to try to maintain his grasp on his power and his little grubby little dirty hands trying to hold on. It said there's not any wisdom nor understanding nor counsel against the Most High. There's nothing they can do about it. They're going to try their best. But as we see, they're failing miserably because there's a number of things that they're faltering at, and the Most High is revealing them, as we see right here. So let's get to some of these current events, man. I'm not gonna hold y'all no longer, but let's look at this. So, first evidence is a divisiveness. Ukraine fires 6 deputy defense ministers as heavy fighting continues in the east. So, America's back in Ukraine, NATO's back in Ukraine, and here they are having internal issues themselves, firing 6 defense ministers. They can't even get their own military in order. So now there's divisiveness going on within Ukraine. So 6 Ukrainian deputy defense ministers were fired Monday following the dismissal 2 weeks ago of a defense minister, Oleksiy Reznikov, in a corruption scandal. Officials said as heavy fighting against Russian forces continued in the east. So if y'all remember, I pulled out an article, I think from 2016, that said that Ukraine was the most corrupt country in the world. And it continues on to this day. So America has no problem, and NATO and the rest of those nations have no problem funding corruption, because everything that this whole war is about is corruption, stealing of power, establishing a proxy war to try to weaken Russia. You know, all of this stuff is all political. Ukraine is being used as a puppet. Some are even saying that because of Slow Biden's shady business deals with his son, with Ukrainian businessmen, that they're actually extorting Slow Biden. That's why he's emptying the pockets and finding money out, under his mattress to send them. Notice how all the time I think they've had 2 budgetary errors accounting for billions of dollars, saying, oops, whoops, we found more money. Send it to them. Some are saying that it's payoffs to keep these other corrupt officials and businessmen over there in Ukraine quiet about Slow Biden, as his son is going under indictment and Slow Biden's name is involved. That could be true. I don't know. But nothing can be discounted when you're dealing with pure evil. So continuing on, it says Russia claimed to have struck key Ukrainian facilities in air attacks overnight, hidden stores of Storm Shadow missiles and depleted uranium ammunition, along with electronic intelligence centers and training facilities for Ukrainian military scouts. So Russia's hitting them heavy. I think they said Ukraine just bombed, hit a some particular key infrastructure for Russia earlier this week. So they're going back and forth, right? But the real losses is coming up on the Ukrainian side. But we see here that they're experiencing problems over there. Esau, the Ukrainians are Edomites, let's not forget. And they're experiencing division. Here's some more. Poland and Ukraine are feuding over weapons and grain. How did we get here? And what does it mean for the war? Oh, it was all good just a week ago. How are we here right now? Why all of a sudden now Poland, a NATO country, now they've turned their back on Ukraine. And they're saying, we ain't sending them no more weapons. We're tired of this ish. Now they got problems with Ukraine. So now we're seeing even fracturing going on within NATO. It appeared to be a reversal that threatened major implications for the war. On Wednesday, the Prime Minister of Poland, one of Kiev's closest and most vocal allies, said it would, quote, no longer transfer weapons to Ukraine. Look at that. Prime Minister of Poland, one of Kiev's, or Kiev's, however you pronounce that Russian crap, one of Kiev's closest and most vocal allies. Didn't we just read the Egyptians gonna fight the Egyptians with a friend, brother against brother? Now we see in Poland, which was once one of Ukraine's closest allies, has said, I ain't effing with you. No more weapons to you. Yet this apparently bullish move, announced amid a bitter spat with Ukraine over grain, has now evolved into a much murkier situation. Polish President Andrzej Duda on Thursday moved to walk back his prime minister's comments, saying they were, quote, interpreted in the worst possible way. Yeah, right. He said what he meant. Both Duda and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have attempted to thaw the angry spat, but animosity remains after months of tensions over a temporary ban on Ukrainian grain imports to a number of European Union countries. See, Ukraine got all the grain. They got banned. Russia's been hitting them heavy. They cut off the grain deal back in July, I believe. So a lot of nations now are starving out. And they can't get that grain. And they're like, well, look, man, you can't give us what we need. We're not going to give you what you need. How about that? So division there. Fears of a second war in Europe as Azerbaijan launches a military attack. So more Edomites. These are more offshoots after the Soviet Union. All of these other little countries start getting established. Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, all them stands. A lot of them are Russian offshoots when the Soviet Union collapsed. So Azerbaijan, I believe, is a country that came up out of the fall of the Soviet Union, I think in the early 90s. But they're going to war with the Armenians, which are also Edomites. See? So more division amongst Esau and his kingdom. Azerbaijan carried out strikes on the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region on Tuesday, as it announced the launch of an, quote, anti-terror operation, a move that threatens to trigger another war in the region. So here we go, more wars and rumors of wars carrying on in the east of Europe. The country's defense ministry said it was using, quote, high-precision weapons to incapacitate Armenian-backed forces and target Armenian military positions in a push to force out formations of Armenians' armed forces. So Ukraine and Poland got issues. Ukraine and Russia got issues. Azerbaijan and Armenia got issues. You got Russia and France as it pertains to, not only the dealings that's going on over there in Africa, but also just their relationships with NATO. I mean, America against Russia. I mean, Esau is completely divided. And there's no coming back from it. That's why we just read earlier. So, man, there's no wisdom and there's no understanding that you can formulate to come against the Lord, to try to reestablish and build back better. No. That's not going down. Footage purportedly filmed in Stepanakert, the capital of Karabakh, which is called Konkendi by Azerbaijan, captured the sounds of loud shelling and artillery fire. At this moment, the capital, Stepanakert, and other cities and villages are under intensive fire. In Armenia, Armenian-based separatist group warned on social media, calling it a large military offensive. So there you have it. Warfare going on over in the east, which we'll look at in a minute, regarding what this means for the overall balancing of World War III. Okay. Look at Adrogen says Turkey may part ways with the EU. Oh, more division. Now the EU's having problems. Turkey, he implied the country could end its membership bid. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Saturday that Turkey may part ways with the European Union, implying that the country is thinking about ending its bid to join the 27-nation bloc. So the EU's having problems. Meanwhile, the BRICS nations are over here building and people are waiting in line to join that alliance. So there you have two conflicting factions, political factions and monetary factions and war-based factions that are now building their one's declining, one's building up, all gearing up towards establishing what we'll know as World War III. And I showed y'all the article a couple of weeks ago about the prime minister of Turkey acknowledging saying everybody hates America. So why are they all of a sudden saying we don't want no parts with the EU no more? Why are they breaking ties with things that are affiliated with America? The EU is making efforts to sever ties with Turkey, he told reporters before departing for the 78th UN General Assembly in New York. We will evaluate the situation, and if needed, we'll part ways with the EU. Well, let's look at this. Jeremiah 51:27 says, and we're reading Jeremiah 51. It's talking about the judgment and the downfall of Babylon, speaking about America. Okay. It says, set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations. Didn't we? We just blew the trumpet. We're in the 7th month. Blowing the trumpets for us was a week and some change ago. To do what? It said, blow the trumpet among the nations. We know blowing the trumpet is an assembling of the congregation and inciting for war. When it's time to march or move, these are all aspects that the trumpet was being used for. So now the Most High said in the spirit, the trumpet has been blown among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Who's the her? Babylon. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat. Now, Ararat is in eastern Turkey. If you see here, right on the border, right before you get into Armenia, this is all Turkey right here. You see right here, it's within the borders of Turkey. Far eastern Turkey, Mount Ararat, same place where the ark rested in Genesis 8. It says that Turkey, i.e., the kingdom of Ararat, is to be assembled against Babylon. So why are we seeing this happening? Is because they're getting ready to set themselves apart from dealing with the EU and the beast system that America is controlling. Okay. I just wanted to highlight that to show y'all where we're at. All right. Now look at this. U.S. braces for costly government shutdown in 8 days. This ain't the first time that the government has faced a threatening of a shutdown, but in my remembrance, this is the first time that it's faced a government shutdown in light of the state of the economy of where it's at right now. When we're talking about the high inflation rates, the gas, the food, the energy, the housing market having issues, commercial real estate going up bust, all of the layoffs, strikes. See, it's a whole different climate now. So the effects that this government shutdown will have, we'll look at it. See, this shows you, man, Esau, his whole system is in disarray. No order. Millions of federal employees and active military service members will stop receiving paychecks, but many will be forced to report to work anyway. So many of those who work under federal governments, if this shutdown happens, their paychecks is going to falter. And the unemployment lines is already getting hit heavy because of all of the layoffs, because of all of the strikes that's going on. If it's non-unionized, like for instance with the worker strikes, the actor strikes, many of those people are utilizing those who can are utilizing unemployment while they're off. How long do you think the unemployment system is going to be able to sustain? As people are losing their jobs by the thousands, damn near every week. And the new jobs that's popping up is part-time gigs in the service industries mostly. I mean, can you imagine that you had a good paying job in Silicon Valley in tech or whatever, or maybe in the banking sector? You get laid off, and next thing you know, the only job that's available for you is working at rallies or bussing tables or establishing reservations at a hotel, and that's part time. That's what some people are facing. All of the little side hustles that's going on, man, and people ain't got the little startup money from them stimulus checks and EDD and PPP loans no more. So this place is in trouble. So millions of employees, I didn't say thousands, and millions of federal employees and active service military members may not be getting their paychecks if they don't come to a conclusion regarding this government shutdown. But they're gonna have to report to work anyway. Look, some national parks may close, museums could shutter, airports nationwide might see new disruptions and delays. This is all possibilities that could happen if they don't get this thing figured out within the next 7 days. And the most pivotal federal aid programs, including those assisting the victims of the deadly wildfires in Maui, could struggle to provide urgently needed support. In only 8 days, the U.S. government is set to shut down, unleashing real and wide-ranging financial hardships on American families, workers, and businesses. The lapse in funding would mark a fundamental breakdown in an ever-divided, intransigent Washington, where Republicans' demands this year have prevented Congress time and again from easily fulfilling its most basic fiscal responsibilities. So, because of the dividing of this House, the Republicans are not signing off on certain budgetary things that the Democrats are doing. They want their voices to be heard more. They want the impeachment to go forward on slow Biden. McCarthy is, dragging his feet on it, bluffing that he's going to do it, but he ain't did nothing yet. So even within the Republican parties, they like, you know what, we're not budging, and we ain't giving no damn sign offs on this money to keep America going. But see, that's what happens, man. When you're dealing with this place. I mean, the scriptures let us know when you're talking monetarily, man, what does this mean for the overall construct of America? See Ecclesiastes 10 and 19. It says, a feast is made for laughter and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. America knows this. Money answers all things. If they ain't got the answers, they ain't got the money. America is over 30 plus $1 trillion in debt right now and asking for more money to borrow. But right now, they ain't got the money. They ain't got no answers. That means that this place is in trouble. And like I said, this ain't the first time that this has happened, but this is the first time it's happened that I can recall in the state of affairs in the of not only America but the world. The world is in trouble like that. I mean, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, he just had his meeting the other day, and he said, oh, we're not going to raise the interest rates this time. But I think they got one or two more meetings this year. They said one of the two meetings expect them to raise the interest rates again, which is going to be a problem. And he said he does not expect a soft landing when it comes down to the economy, which means what? The economy is going to crash. It's going to be trouble for a lot of people. He said, man, if you got money and you got some savings, you'll be all right. But if you don't, there's going to be a lot of pain. In other words, you poor black folk and Hispanics and Native Americans, y'all going to be in trouble. White trash, you in trouble. Because we ain't got the savings. We ain't got, an abundance of wealth. Last year, he said, we're coming for your savings. He said, right now, we see this last year. He said that right now, we see that the Americans still got a good amount of savings. So we need to deplete that. Basically, that's what he was saying. And guess what? This year, they said that the savings, American savings, are down like in the trillions. So They're coming after all and any amount of wealth that people have accumulated, and what little money you're trying to save up and trying to keep things afloat, man, they coming for it all. So he's already went on record and said, man, we need all the money we can get. Ciroc 21 and oh yeah, here we go. 8. 21 and 8 says, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. That's so deep because America is built on and established by debt. They sell war bonds. They sell what do they call it? I forgot what they call it. But basically, man, America sells its debt to people and then pays them back through interest. So it's almost like somebody buying into your credit card debt, and they say, man, I'll buy that debt from you, man. And you say, great, I'll pay you back with interest, guaranteed. And you say, well, that's a good investment, man. I'm gonna go ahead on and buy that debt from you. And then you sit back and you pay them back slowly but surely. But every time the interest rates gets greater and greater, and I got a guaranteed money coming to me all the time. That's pretty much how America gets ran. Not only through personal, with its own citizens buying up its debt, but other countries buy their debt. America's built itself on other men's money, man. Not only just other men's money, but other men's labors. Imagine what he did to our forefathers and foremothers, man, building up this damn place called America. Blood, sweat, and tears that, were built on the back of slaves, oppression, robber barons, with the banking system, man, taking advantage of people. So they built themselves with other men's money, man, and that's why it's all coming back to a head on them. That's why we know, because notice what it said. If it's built that way, it's like somebody who's gathering stones for the tomb of his burial, man. America will fall. This place is over with. Just the fundamentals of how it's been built up, the economic system, it can only go so far. That's why they keep talking about this debt bubble. They keep borrowing other men's money before it busts and everything goes to hell in the handbasket. Everything that America is doing is setting itself up for its own burial. Let's look at this. U.S. debt is nearly 33 trillion, but some economists say not all debt is bad. Of course they will. But let's look at this. This is just a small little understanding of how America gets ran. And it's utilizing other people's money. So we just seen the principle of what the Most High said, how that's not good. But look what happens. Debt is commonly taken on during states of emergency in order to prevent burdening the public with higher taxes. The U.S. government issues debt in the form of treasury bonds. That's what I was thinking about, treasury bonds. Back during the time, I think in the Great Depression, World War I and all that, they were selling war bonds. And people were buying into it, and that's how they was getting the stock market established and all of that. People were buying into the war and were getting guaranteed money back. The U.S. government issues debt in the form of treasury bonds, bills, and notes. These government securities provide a safe place for investors to park their money while earning interest. Some economists warn the U.S. debt to GDP ratio is too high, which serves as an indicator for whether a country can pay off its debt. The U.S. national debt is sitting nearly $33 trillion. I mean, at that point, man, those are unimaginable numbers to pay back. So America has no intention on paying any of this money back at all. Every year since 2001, the U.S. government has spent more money than it takes in. For somebody in our perspective households, they would say that you don't know how to balance your household economically when you keep spending more than you bring in. That we call bad business. But America runs off of that. But who gets penalized and gets hit with bankruptcies, bad credit ratings? You can't go can't go rent an apartment to go somewhere because you got an eviction. You can't buy a car. You can't do it. All things you get hit upside the head. Nowadays, they're even checking credit scores for jobs. And look what America does. Since 2001, for the last 22 years, America has spent more money than it takes in, which means it has to borrow money to make up the difference. Debt has many useful purposes, says Chris Micherner, professor of economics at the Levy School of Business at Santa Clara University. The public debt has always been used for emergencies. It's easier to finance by borrowing than to burden the current generation with taxes. The national debt increased by more than 89% since the beginning of the pandemic, with many top economists in agreement that 2020 was not the time to worry about the debt. So there you see America being built upon debt. All it's doing is setting up stones for its own burial. They're in over their head. $33 trillion is an insurmountable debt that they cannot pay back at all. And now they're sitting back, struggling, trying to find out and fighting within to say, how are we going to pay back this interest to our borrowers? How are we going to keep funding the government? Well, we need you to sign off on this budget so we can borrow more money. Republicans are saying, no, we ain't signing off on it until you do this, that, and the third. So this is where America's at. More division, kingdom divided, in debt, setting up burials for themselves. I'll continue on. Zelensky blitzes Washington in an urgent effort to bolster support. And now you still got more of your tricks or your Johns, whichever you prefer, for those who were involved or know about the pimp game and the harlot game, because Zelensky's been slobbering in all over the breasts of the great whore. He comes back over here wanting more. So America can't even pay their own debts, and here he comes over here saying, "Give me more," as well as the other countries like Taiwan and others that are seeking America's aid. This place is over with. And he's blitzing the Washington for urgent effort for help. So what does that mean? What the state of war is going on with Ukraine right now? Clearly, they over there getting their butts whooped, and he's running around from Canada to America, begging for more money, more help, shaking down slow Biden. If that's the business arrangement, if those rumors are true, reminding slow Biden, hey, we in your pockets, man, and we can let everything know. We can let everything be known regarding what you got going on, man, unless you give me more money. So look at this. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last visited Washington. It was a top secret journey and his first trip outside the country since Russia invaded Ukraine. He received a hero's welcome to the White House on a Capitol Hill that day in December, evoking comparisons to Prime Minister Winston Churchill. I'm not even reading that foolishness. All right. Zelensky returned here on Thursday to dramatically different circumstances. A growing number of Republicans are vowing to reject additional aid for Ukraine as a U.S. government shutdown looms. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy denied the Ukrainian leader's request to address a joint meeting of Congress, and Zelensky was unable to tout any major breakthroughs in his military current counteroffensive against Russia. He came over here begging, and McCarthy said, "Man, we not having that right now. We got our own problems. So continue on." But he's gonna get the back door with slow Biden, man, and before you know it, after this government shutdown is over and they, break everything down, guaranteed they're gonna send some more billions over there. Or the greater thing is the place does shut down and it causes more turmoil in America, and we get a little bit closer to seeing our salvation, the lights of our salvation flashing before our eyes. So let's look at the U.S. is sending drone ships to Western Pacific in the first deployment near China. No, remember last week, China was been exercising their military drills surrounding Taiwan, and now in a effort to help bolster the confidence of Taiwan and let it be known, hey, America's got your back. Don't worry. They went and sent some drone ships to the Pacific. Its first deployment near China. So, two prototype U.S. drone ships have arrived in Japan for the first deployment in the Western Pacific, testing surveillance and attack capabilities that the Navy might find useful against China's larger fleet. So, they're not making no bones about it. They're going over there to test attack capabilities on China, quote unquote. Okay. So, more wars, rumors of wars, more edging towards the China, America, Taiwan conflict. They're all out there. Satellite images show increased activity at nuclear test sites in Russia, China, and the US. So now all of a sudden, everybody's working on their nuclear testings. The three major heads, Russia, China, and the US. It says increased activity. So the possibilities of more nuclear conflict, it's all there. We see it. Russia, the United States, and China have all built new facilities and dug new tunnels at their nuclear test sites in recent years. Satellite images obtained exclusively by CNN show at a time when tensions between the three major nuclear powers have risen to their highest in decades. While there is no evidence to suggest that Russia, the US, or China is preparing for an imminent nuclear test, the images obtained and provided by a prominent analyst in military nonproliferation studies illustrate recent expansions at three nuclear test sites compared with just a few years ago. So, translation, things have changed from a few years ago. Now it's becoming more heightened. The testing of the preparations for testing of nuclear weapons is there. We see that Russia's already deployed a Satan II missile for combat. China is handing out. They're going through major military drills. We just seen NATO says starting in 2024 they're getting ready to do their largest military drills in Europe in preparation for war with Russia. I mean, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. All right. It's just a matter of time, observation, watching, and praying. Look, Saudi Crown Prince on Iran acquiring nuclear weapons. If they get one, we have to get one. So the battle for nuclear armaments, Saudi Arabia and Iran, they're over here concerned playing games. And this is interesting because they used to beef with one another. Then they had the peace treaty. Now they had a peace treaty earlier this year. I'm thinking Saudi Arabia is playing America, the UN, and everybody because they're saying that like, hey, if Iran gets it, we've had problems in the past. We need to arm ourselves too. We can't be left out here naked. So we need nukes too. But meanwhile, they're only doing that so that both of them, who are at peace right now, have nukes to come against America. That's what I'm postulating. So look at this. And the scriptures can co-sign that. Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman said Wednesday that if Iran acquired a nuclear weapon, his country would seek to do the same. If they get one, we have to get one, the Crown Prince said in an interview with Fox News Bright Buyer, adding that it would be necessary for security reasons and for balancing power in the Middle East, but we don't want to see that. See, notice I said, it's for security reasons so that we can balance power in the Middle East, right? But if you see here, the truce between Iran and Saudi Arabia, brokered by China, raises some concern for the U.S. That was back in March. If they're at peace, why is he worried about security and all that? I'm believing he's using that as an excuse to get nukes, to say, well, Iran poses a threat to us. Saudi Arabia, you're getting we got oil deals with you. You're doing all this other stuff. America's got to give them the okay to protect themselves. But meanwhile, it could be all a plot for them to get armed. And this is why I have that thinking. That's just my thoughts of what the motivation is. But the fact of the matter is that we see them getting prepared for war and asking for nukes. Matter of fact, let me get Revelation 16. And in no particular order, the vials that's getting poured out are the judgments of the Lord, right? So Revelation 16:12 says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. By now, everybody knows that the great river Euphrates has been experiencing massive droughts over the last few years. The Euphrates is drying up. That's prophetic. That vial has been poured out. When that happens, then what's going to happen? That the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. What are they being prepared for? They're being prepared for war. The kings of the east, from the Middle East to the Far East, i.e., China, North Korea, Taiwan, the European East, i.e., Russia, Ukraine, Poland. You understand what I'm saying? All of the eastern region, from the middle to the Far East to the Northeast, they're all getting prepared, as we're seeing now. And what was our indication? Noticing and seeing the river Euphrates drying up. So with that being understood, we're going back over here to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 20. It says, behold, saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south and from the east. And this is not an excuse for the Christians to talk about, look, everybody's going to worship the Most High. No, no. They're going to do what the Most High, reverence meaning obedience. They're going to do what the Most High tells them to do. Just like in Ezekiel 38, where it acknowledges and tells Gog and Magog, speaking about Russia, that he's going to put hooks in their jaws and he's going to cause them to go to war. He's telling the kings of the earth, this is the same thing that's going to happen. Remember, the Most High is the one who sets up kings, takes down kings. He's the one that has brought the day, created the wicked for the day of evil, the deceived, and the deceiver being his. He's the master chess player. Everything is in the power of the Most High. So when he says all the kings of the earth are coming to reverence him, meaning they're coming to play, they're going to obey and do what he wants them to do, which are from the rising of the sun, so from the east, from the south, and Libanus. Okay, this is Mount Lebanon. So it says to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. So that doesn't sound like they're all coming to praise the Most High and start keeping the feast days and the laws, does it? So they ain't coming to reverence him in that fashion. They're going to come together to go to war. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, saith the Most High. So they're coming together for judgment. Verse 22, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. So we can forget about the mentality that God hates the sin but loves the sinner. That no. Even in Amos the 8th chapter it tells us that, or the 9th chapter tells us that his wrath is going to, and indignation is upon all the sinners. So what is our escape route? This is why we impose and push keeping the commandments and repenting, especially when it's time to atone, like this evening. The Most High said, we're trying to get out of being in this particular area of judgment, because he said it's not going to be no sparing, no mercy is going to be shown to sinners. Sword and his sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. Well, who shed the most innocent blood on the earth? The so-called white man. Period. Verse 23. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. So how in the hell can anybody talk about not keeping the commandments of the Most High? The commandments can't save you. Christ paid the debt. I don't have to keep the commandments. Why should we be doing something that he did away with? Christians are going to be destroyed. Seriously. Catholics going to be destroyed. The Afrocentristic, all the ones talking about we keeping the ways of our ancestors and all that, you're out of here. Our only way out is obedience to the commandments of the Most High, because that's what he's looking for first. Continue on. It says, I will not spare them. See, no mercy. Go your way, ye children, from the power, and defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. So we see the downfall and everything that's happening to the earth, from the weather to the food, to the or to the famines, to the plagues, to the wars, to the fires. I mean, you name it. Everything is coming upon the earth right now, man. The whole earth is defiled and being put under judgment. For the Most High shall not deliver you because ye have sinned against him. So if you're expecting to get caught up in some rapture, a pre-tribulation rapture, like the evangelical Christians love to proclaim, the Most High said you're not getting delivered. You're not getting beamed up because you refuse to submit yourself to the obedience of the commandments and continue on and wallow in your sins. But look at this. Behold, a horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. Okay. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out of with many chariots. Who are the dragons of Arabia? That's Ishmael. That's Saudi Arabia. That's their when the scriptures talk about Ishmael being blessed with 12 sons and they were going to have, wealth and all of that, that was going to be their blessing. The dragons of Arabia have done well with that. All the Arabian nations, in particular, the Arab nations, those are the dragons. These are the ones who create the uproars. These are the ones who create the power structures in the Middle East. It all comes through Ishmael. It says they're going to come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So they're going to cause an uproar, because when you start hearing about stuff like this, the Arabs want nukes now. Iran's talking about getting nukes. That becomes a bigger threat to America, because what's been the sole threat to America for the last 22 years since 9/11? Oh, them sand niggas. The sand niggas, they want to destroy our way of life. They got weapons of mass destruction. We can't let them have it. We got to, go bomb Afghanistan. We got to go take them out in Iraq. Iran, we got to continue watching them every minute. Now they're already talking about, Iran has already said, man, to hell with your sanctions. We're riding with Russia and the BRICS. Saudi Arabia is saying, well, we're at peace with them, but hey, if they get benefits, we want them too. Now they're preparing their armaments. Now the fearing and the trembling saying, no, we can't let them crazy ass Arabs get no weapons. We can't let them get no nukes because we know what they're going to do. Let's continue on reading. It says, also the Carmanians are the Iranians. It says, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So there's going to be warfare that goes on over there in the Middle East. The ancient land of the Assyrians, they're going to experience war. But we're talking a global war here. Let's continue on. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Wild men, as the scriptures say. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, how are they going to conspire together? What do we see here? The truce between Iran and Saudi Arabia. That's the dragons of Arabia. That's the Carmanians. Now they're conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in the host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Let's continue here. 34. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. This ain't talking about the chariots of the Most High. How do we know that? Verse 35. They shall smite upon one another. You think the chariots of the Most High is going to be battling each other? No, that's not going to be happening. It's talking about the air vehicles. It's talking about the, we always know that the clouds are mentioned as chariots or airborne forms of transportation or destruction. So when we're talking about clouds, we're talking about what? Fighter jets, drones, bombers, F-16s, B-17 bombers, all those things. These are the clouds that's going to be coming from the east. That's why we're hearing about them. Iran is got a specialty in drones. They're selling drones and giving drones to Russia. So, in ancient times, they had the bowmen and the masters of the bow coming out of the Medes and the Persians, which developed into Iran. The bows was their favorite weapon. We've covered that and talked about that before. So the airborne flight weaponry, that's coming from them as well. So here we're seeing here, it said they're going to smite one another. They're going to come down. It said, behold, clouds from the east and from the north and the south. They are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. So the stars is going to be the missiles and the bombs, the drones. All of those things is going to be smiting one another through aerial warfare. This is why we're seeing and why it's important of why Ishmael is posturing, trying to get nukes, utilizing as an excuse, saying, well, if Iran gets them, we need them too, because we've got security concerns. As they're trying to deceive and game their way into getting a hold of some of these quote unquote stars so that they can get into the same realms of destruction as their counterparts. So keep all those things in mind when we see headlines like this. This is where we're at. All right. Wells Fargo CFO expects more layoffs ahead. So more banking crisis is going on. America's getting shut down. No confidence in the banks no more. You know, people talking about, hey man, watch your money in the banks. Before you know, if a bank run hits, they're gonna seize your money. Who knows when and if that's going to happen? But before we were seeing, I mean, not even when. It's not even a matter of if. It's just a matter of when, I should say. You understand what I'm saying? Because looking at the bit, look, we seen these earlier banks. What was the ones that crashed earlier? First Republic and whatever the other three banks were. There's over 100 banks that's in trouble right now. And now we're hearing the big name banks, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America. All of them now are talking about, oh, we're having trouble too. See, when the big boys' names start coming out, that's when people's ears start itching and saying, what's wrong? What's wrong with my bank? I went to I had to go to the ATM 2 days ago, and all the ATMs was out. I couldn't understand why. It was after banking hours, and I was like, damn. Now, it may have been just this particular branch. I didn't hear about any particular shutdown, but it struck me like, oh, shoot. Everyone, I mean, the screens was black. You couldn't, it was like they was turned off. Now we're hearing about Wells Fargo laying off more people. See, Wells Fargo could see its headcount decline further as it aims to improve efficiency. Chief Financial Officer Mike Santomassimo said Tuesday. But look at this number. The bank has been trimming its workforce since the third quarter of 2020. It has already reduced its employee base by nearly 40,000, and cuts are likely to continue. Did you hear that? Wells Fargo, since 2020, within the last 3 years, has laid off 40,000 people. And it says, and it will likely continue. And this place is all right? America's good to go? Huh? Money answereth all things, and they're running out. Let's look at this. U.S. auto workers threaten to amp up historic strike if wage offers do not improve. As far I forgot what they said, how big a percentage that the U.S. auto industry plays in America's economy, but I think it's like 30% or 3% of America's growth or America's income, which essentially 3% doesn't sound like a lot, but we're talking billions of dollars. If they continue on the strike, man, and the manufacturing shuts down, exporting of vehicles, buying up of vehicles, that means it's going to hit the bank loans. Banks ain't going to be trying to loan out no money. Inventory is going to be low. That means the cost of vehicles is going to be up because supply and demand. You ain't got the supply, the demand is going to be low. And then you're trying to go to a bank to finance it, and the banks is like, man, these things is expensive. We got to find the money somewhere that we can loan it out. We ain't got the money. We can't loan it to you. It's a domino effect. So, that auto worker industry strike is pretty big and they playing hardball. They talking about laying off. I mean, they talking about more people. I think it was at 13,000 last week. I think they just said another like 3,000 and joined in. So they look really leaning heavy on the automakers. So the United Auto Workers chief Sunday warned Sunday that a historic strike at the top of 3 car manufacturers will expand if the companies don't raise their wage offers in ongoing negotiation. So I mean, you got to look at what they're asking for too, man. They want more money. They want guaranteed pensions that's only funded by the companies. They want less hours. I mean, they're asking for a dream job, more money, less working hours, and a guaranteed pension when you retire. And Esau and these companies is like, man, are you crazy? We can't give you that, and we ain't having it. And the unions got like $800 million saved up for strikes, so they got a little bit of leeway that they can survive off of for a little while. So who knows how long this goes? In the midst of a possible government shutdown, where federal employees and military get uh, their paychecks taken from them. This place ain't in good shape. Look, General Motors. Now they playing hardball. They hitting back. GM is like, okay, we want to strike. How about we just lay some of y'all off? General Motors just laid off 2,000 workers at Kansas assembly plant after workers at a facility in Detroit went on strike because, quote, there is no work. Hey, if they striking and it's shut down, well, there's no work. And General Motors says we ain't gonna pay you for nothing. 2,000 people, man, got they pink slips in a day, and now they out looking like, what's next? Where is their unemployment? How do I apply for unemployment? What's the website? How long before, like I said, how long before the unemployment system collapses because there's too many people getting their benefits out? The UAW president threatens that more people will walk off the job by Friday if demands are not met. So, GM is trying to play hardball. Last week, who was it? One of the other companies, man, they laid off like 3,000 people and said, well, whatever. Remember that article in it said that the president of the company, she was trying to defend her $30 million salary. These people, man, Esau's a damn beast, man. I mean, they got to go. Got to go. Look at this, 40% pay raise in a 4-day work week. So they want a 40% increase on pay in a 4-day work week. I mean, they got, even I'm saying they crazy as hell that they think they're gonna get that. But hey, let them strike. Maybe they bow down, because you know what happens is all of these strikes from UPS, the motor company, I mean the car companies, all the other stuff, they bow down, they go, and everybody gets the stuff. Guess what? That means everything else, the prices is gonna go up because they got to be able to pay them. They talking about giving them, I think, minimum wage going up to like $20 or something like that to like fast food workers. Hey, all praises for those, of our people, man, that's out there working and they get a little bit more money. But guess what? That means that the prices of that food is going up. Yeah, your favorite little meal that you like to get, that's going to increase until nobody can afford it, and them places get shut down. And people that were celebrating, they got this raise. Hey, well, it was short lived because the damn McDonald's or whoever can't sustain people not coming. I was looking at this. I think it was a Instagram video or something. Somebody had shared with me, and it was a comparison of the cost of a Big Mac or value meal from early 2000s to now. And it was like all of them McDonald combos was like $2.99, and now they like $13, $14 or whatever. It was like, that's how bad things have gotten. Now, can you imagine everybody getting $20+ an hour? That Big Mac combo is going up to $18 to cover all the costs. Who's buying a damn Big Mac and eating that damn pink slime and whatever else is going on in that damn place? at $18 for a damn big, and it's everything smaller. So not only you paying more, you getting less. So shrinkflation is all in effect. Who's buying that? More evidences of this place is going down fast and furious. Look at this. Gasoline prices soared to a seasonal record. I took this picture at least 2 weeks ago. That's in LA right now. This was the cheaper one. There's another place that's around the corner from this. I sent it to our text group. I was like, damn, look at this. Like, it just gets worse and worse. I remember I was at the gas station with my son. Gas was, it was like, this was like, I gotta say, man, 3.5 weeks ago, give or take. Gas was $5. It was damn near about $5 at a cheaper gas station. A week later, it was $5.29. So every week, and I want to say at least for the last 3 weeks, man, gas in California has been going up down at 30 cents a week. Anybody, all y'all that's out here, man, put in the chat if I'm lying. There's a place that was around the corner from here, 609. Theirs was like theirs was like 6. Everything was just put it all down. So you see 629, that was regular. 639 was the plus, and the Supreme was $6.99. Gas is down there $7 in some places out here right now. It's worse than it was last year. Remember last year we was complaining how gas was going up. It's already worse than it was last year. See how it says it's at a seasonal record? Last year it was the same season. Gas was going up and we was tripping like, God dang, man, we gonna hit $7? Right now, some places is already at $7. You're talking $6.50. And this ain't in no rich neighborhood either. Gas is all bad. Y'all feel my pain, you know. And look at it. Everybody know what happened. More America's showing its infrastructure gaps. MGM resorts computers are back up after 10 days as analysts eye effects of casino cyber attacks. So going along with the cyber polygon and all of these little cyber attacks that's been going on, affecting everything from airlines to casinos now, is breaking down, showing the vulnerabilities that America can be touched. You know, as much as the red, white, and blue goofballs love to wrap themselves up in the flag and pledge their allegiances, this place is not impenetrable, and it will get penetrated with nukes, cyber attacks, and everything else. So we know the casinos got hit up in Vegas over the last 10 days. But the thing I wanted to notice is, look at this. Greg Moody, professor and director of the cybersecurity program at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, pointed to quoted estimates that the computer shutdown cost the company $8 million a day. We thinking that's a lot of money. These play $8 million a day they got hit up for 10 days. So they lost $80 million from this hack attack, right? But look at this. Moody also noted that MGM Resorts reports annual revenues above $14 billion. That's just one hotel annually making $14 billion, which means it averages at least $270 million in revenues per week. So for them to pay, I think they paid $15 million for the, I think they wanted $30 million. The hackers wanted $30 million for a ransom. They paid half, and I guess that was enough, and they let them go. That was like a day's labor for them. I mean, look, they making $270 million a week. So literally what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, because I don't hear about no prosecuting charges or them doing any cyber investigations to catch the hackers or whatever the case may be. Them cats, man, got away with $15 million. And because of the corruption and all the fraud that goes on in Vegas, they like, you know what, just let it go. Let it go because we making $270 million a week anyway. So once you see, man, America getting hit in one of its biggest financial empires, man, it lets you know how vulnerable this place could be. But just how much money is flowing through Vegas, man, is unbelievable. I mean, the house always wins, man, and they always looking for some degenerate gambler to go down there, man, and spend it up, to run it up, lose their money. Or you want to have the suites and the experience of Vegas. You want to go to the shows and experience the food and all the other stuff, man. We were just in Vegas, not on the strip, but went out there to go handle some business. Came back and I was just looking like I don't like Vegas no more. Like in the world, all that was gotta go to Vegas, go catch it up. But Vegas is just so damn crazy now. It's just unbelievable. But they making money. But the hacking is definitely in. If they can go hit uh the MGM and Caesar's Palace and all that, man, do you think they can get to the banks? You think they can get to your account, my account? That's why it's so important to make sure you got something on hand, something you can touch and feel in your possession, and not just count on somebody to push a button and say, "Oh, your deposit is done. Oh, here's your withdrawal." Because, like I said, I just went when I went to the bank and the ATM was shut down. Imagine if there was no ATM and I was just dead broke. I needed, I got to the ATM on fumes, and I needed cash to get gas or whatever. I could have been jacked up or whatever. Just you just never know. Putting confidence in some of the things, man, that are vulnerable for collapse, hack, and all that other stuff, man. We gotta pay attention. All right. So look at this. It says it's back. Providence Hospital System. Now, mind you, I'm gonna give y'all a little insight. Hint, hint. I could be a whistleblower for this company, but I'm gonna leave it at that. It's back. Providence Hospital System imposes the new requirements for healthcare workers. Non-compliance results in unpaid leave and potential termination. Now, the reason why I said I could be a whistleblower is because I don't work in the same division as these people, the healthcare workers, but I work for the same company. And I didn't get any notifications regarding that. I did, however, get, and I made mention of this notification that exemptions was going to expire after this year. So religious exemptions, all the other stuff, they definitely did email that to me and others and said, your exemption is no longer valid. We'll honor it for this next year. Starting next year, it's going to be a whole new thing. So that already lets me know that they're plotting and planning and they're getting ready to impose a whole new form of a shutdown or a whole new form of an oppressive forced um, will on people come next year. So I'm letting y'all know, as a quote unquote insider to the health industry or whatever the case may be, that's what's coming down the line. So right now they're saying that they backed away from this. 'Cause like I said, I didn't get, any notification regarding this particular, hey, get it, or you're gonna get fired or unpaid leave. I didn't get that. But that didn't go on to everybody. The people, nurses, doctors, people working in the reception areas, all the other stuff. Those are what they consider the healthcare workers. People taking your blood and all that other stuff. That's for them. Now, if you're working like administrative type stuff, like I do, that didn't apply to us. So it's a little different. But they even they went back. I looked more into this article, and they recanted a little bit, and they said that the hospital system has, or Providence has said that uh, it's voluntary. They're encouraging everybody to get, but they're not forcing anybody to get it. So they kind of backed away. Um, but they're drumming up a whole new method of compliance come next year. Best believe that. So look at this. This is what they were initially told everybody. All the caregivers must receive the newest medicine and provide proof that they got it by November 30th. Employees who opt not to get it may submit a declination form. Those who already have an approved exemption do not need to submit a new declination. Employees who fail to comply by November 30th deadline may be removed from the schedule, placed on unpaid leave, and could face termination for continued noncompliance. Caregivers who are fully remote and never report to an office are encouraged to be vaccinated, but are not required to participate. So that's what they're, putting out there. That's what's coming down the pipeline. Um, but they didn't stand behind it because of probably pressures. And what's so interesting is this is a nonprofit Catholic hospital system, healthcare system, or hospital system, I should say. And they're even teetering on religious exemptions. Imagine that. So it just shows you the hypocrisy, man, and how the devil works. But yeah. So right now they try to push the issue. And after a little bit of feedback, and they backed away and said, "Oh, okay, no, it's voluntary." But come next year, they're gonna change all of that up. So that lets you know, in my estimation, they're gonna something is gonna come down the pipeline, and something big is gonna come down the pipeline that they're going to really spread something big that's going to make a whole new regime of forcing compliance, shut down all that stuff sometime next year, possibly. That's just my estimation, my guess. I knew when they called off the dogs regarding um, the pandemic, and Slow Biden and them said, "Oh, it's over with. We're all good now." Last year, because they told us starting in May, that's going to be the end of um, the pandemic and how we handle certain medical claims and issues that was coming down the pipeline. So it was like, how do you know that it was going to be called off and resolved by May, and then next thing you know, Slow Biden comes out and says, "Oh, it's over. Everybody, the threat is done, but we do want everybody to, stay getting poked in their arms to keep it away." So, if anything, I get a little bit of foresight and insight of how they trying to operate with this whole thing. So the fact that they let me know next year, uh, exemptions ain't gonna be good no more. That lets you know that they're gonna come with something heavy where they're gonna say, "Man, you can't refuse. It's life or death." So, I don't know, but we'll see. Look at this. Doctors admit they can't tell one thing from the other. I'm gonna just say it like that. Doctors admit they can't tell this thing, the DVOC, apart from allergies or the common cold anymore, highlighting how mild the virus has become. Well, it's so mild, but why are they running around here telling everybody they need to go ahead and roll up? This is the epitome of Proverbs 13:4. I'm the Proverbs. I'm not talking about Job. Job says what? But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. I mean, the Most High couldn't made it more clearer when we see this. They can't even tell you if you got allergies. Is it a common cold, or do you really got it? So what's good is it swabbing up your nose gonna help you? If they tell you if everything pops up positive, or they tell you, you know what? Yeah, it's actually allergy related. Have you been around any of your allergens of late? And you just everybody's so hyped up and so confused about the new scariant that's out there. Oh, maybe I do got it. Maybe it. They don't even know. This is the epitome of medical practice. That's what they call that. They're practicing on you, me, and everybody else because they don't know. You understand? See, That's good, Rosemary, because that's essentially what they're trying to do. You know, like your sister said, she had the same problem last year, worked for the NHS, and was told she had to get poked, and if she refused, and they had to cancel it, and she retired instead. All praises that she was able to retire because that's essentially what they're trying to do. I mean, they already got everybody locked in and from forced layoffs and putting everybody in positions to where the key is and the answer is going to be a universal basic income for everybody to get set up on, getting rationed out, tokens, digital tokens that can buy certain foods and have a sustainable diet authorized by your world ID and your universal basic income. See, when everybody's is shut down and needs money and need, guess who's gonna come to the rescue? White Zaddy's gonna come on with his cape on and says, "Hey, we got a whole new economic system. We know everything collapsed and broke down before, but this new thing, we got it all lined up. Don't worry. Everybody line up and come get poked in your arm. Come make sure that you got your qualifications to get your digital credits, and make sure you don't spend it on this. We got to watch the climate. We got to watch the environment. You can't buy this, can't buy that. Oh, we're tracking you. We shut this off. Oh, you didn't spend it. Guess what? We're going to take it from you then. All of those things is coming down the pipeline. That's what they want. All right. So the doctors now are showing their ignorance. They don't know what's going on. But meanwhile, they're running around telling everybody a new scandemic is on its way. Be careful. Look at this. And speaking, and here we go. Um, Example of what I was just making a point of. Safer, faster, and convenient. Macquarie Bank announces a plan to phase out cash and checks by the end of 2024. The move by the nation's fifth largest bank has caused some concern that other institutions will soon follow, resulting in a cashless society. This is a bank, I believe, out of Australia. The fifth largest bank in Australia says by 2024, they're phasing out cash. They're just jumping the gun, setting the example for the rest of the banks. All the banks that's over here laying off, shutting down, getting bought out, consolidating, coming into bigger umbrellas. This is what you have. This is what you're boiling down to. Why is it going to be cashless? You know, Ezekiel the seventh chapter said they're going to be throwing their silver and gold in the streets. Well, that's two ways that is utilized in the scriptures. Is number one is the idols, because you read earlier in the chapter let you know that the idols were silver and gold. But then also we see that that's also forms of currency, money. See, look at Venezuela. See if they had their silver and their gold, i.e., their I think they call them bolivars, thrown in the streets because of the inflation and the devaluation of the money. That people out there making purses and bags and all kind of stuff made out of money because it's of no value. And they're talking, and people in Venezuela was out there getting haircuts with gold, flakes of gold they were utilizing to get haircuts and all kind of stuff. Right now, look, see, I gotta prove it. Uh, See, look at it. Venezuelans break off flakes of gold to pay for meals and haircuts. Why are they utilizing that? Um, Look at this. This is the money. Venezuela's money, so worthless. Here they are making purses out of the money because it's devalued. Ain't nobody using it no more. And what are they resorting to? They're using gold, flakes of gold to pay for haircuts and food. Because now the money's devalued over there. Inflation hit them so bad, it's just like that. They can sell that and get more money out of a designer bag, that's, a creative bag. They get more money from this than what the whole bag is worth. All the money that it took to make it. So when we seeing stuff like this go down, and they talking about phasing out cash, it's because they want everybody to buy into a digital system. So Macquarie Bank has announced its will begin phasing out cash, checks, and phone payment services in a bid to transition to a completely digital system. How long have we been talking about cashless society coming? If one bank does it, man, there's going to be more that follow suit. It's already guaranteed. Checks will be scrapped from January next year, and the bank's automated phone service will be shut down in March. Customers at the bank, which is the nation's fifth largest, will also no longer be able to make deposits or withdrawals over the counter at branches from May 2024. Between January 2024 and November 2024, we'll be phasing out our cash and check services across all Macquarie banking and wealth management products, including pension and super accounts. And they said, well, it's no big deal. Most people are banking digitally anyway. See, they slowly feed us. We all buy into it. We all do it. We all utilize them things. And before you know it, when they say, hey, we're going to stop using cash over here, most people are like, oh, well, no big deal. I hardly carry cash anyway. They're just going to have to adjust to the conveniences of not going into a branch, not being able to do things, but like they said, utilizing the phone services to do stuff. Can't write out them checks. I was talking to my mom a week or so ago, and we were talking about, the financial situations and all that. And I was like, yeah, there's still a small remnant of people that's still using checks. And she was like, I'm one of them. I still write checks. And I was like, yeah, you old school. Like, she hasn't fully bought into the digital system, which is good for her, But at the same time, uh, most people have. You ask any of these millennials now, the cash, what is that? Everything is card. Everything is swipe. Everything is chip based. Paying with your phone, paying with your watch. They ain't nobody worried about cash no more. So when the transition hits, it's not gonna be a big old shock, but it will be a shock when they control all of the money through the digital system and tell you when and where, why you can't have it. And then we're seeing uh, digital hackers coming in, crashing accounts, compromising information. The back door is always going to be open. That's what's going to hit everybody and going to be like, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have fully bought into this. I should have had some flakes of gold like they do in Venezuela. See, we look at those places, man, that's the pattern that you establish and figure out, well, how do we move forward? Look at how they're surviving. Because that's going to be the next phase. Water levels on the Mississippi River are plummeting for the second year in a row. So even the Mississippi River is drying up. The Most High speaks about the droughts, and I believe it's in I want to say it's Jeremiah 50, no, Isaiah 50. Hold on. Talk about the droughts. It's in Jeremiah 50. Yeah, there you go. And speaking about Babylon, America, saying what? A drought is upon our waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Well, America is the land of graven images and made up upon their idols. I mean, they have shows called American Idol. They have no problem with all the sports games, all the profit. I mean, the end result is who's going to be able to hold and kiss the idol and parade it around in their cities. You got idols set up all around the churches. You got idols set up upon buildings with gargoyles and all kind of stuff, high rise buildings, Baphomet statues all over the dang place, from Detroit to Kansas. I mean, this is what we're talking about. And the Most High said drought is going to be here. So until this past year, California, we have been getting hit with drought-stricken land for years. We already see the Colorado River is experiencing drought, from Arizona, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, all of the California, Nevada, all the lands that require or that utilize those waters is suffering because of the droughts. Now the Mississippi River, which is the biggest river that America has and needs, is suffering a drought the last 2 years. And the impacts that it has is major because it's one of the major uh, forms of transportation in regards to imports, exports, um, getting into the Gulf, getting into the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. It's through the Mississippi. I'm gonna do a lesson about America and overall Esau and his blessings, receiving the fatness of the earth, and America being the primary place of the fatness of the earth. We know that Esau is in control of the whole entire earth. However, America is the hub of where much of the fatness comes from. So I'm gonna do a lesson on that and show you a lot of the things that America's reliability upon the waters, in particular the Mississippi River, is very important. So the fact that it's plummeting and drying up is going to have a high economic impact on America as well. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's continue on. The Panama Canal is running dry, a problem the U.S. helped create and is making it worse. So I'm gonna just read down here because I covered this a couple months ago. Not even a couple months ago. I think it maybe about a month or so ago, that the Panama Canal is running dry. But I want to highlight this. Except this lake, I can't even half step with it. Let me just read the whole thing. In August, the average wait time for ships went from less than a week to nearly a week and a half, creating a bottleneck. At one point, more than 160 ships were hanging out waiting for the Panama official to swipe right. So all of the ships that rely upon the Panama Canal to bring in their exports, to go out with their imports, 160 ships waiting weeks on end just to get in, has created a bottleneck and a problem, right? So that economically hurts the whole world. Today the number is down, but part of that relief came because of using fresh water. Did I mention the region has experienced a 20-year drought? It's similar to the 2-decade drought that choked the Colorado River and left Nevada's Lake Mead at a 34% capacity. Except this lake is Panama is key for global supply chains. As if they needed one more problem, the pandemic's effect on the supply chain was a major contributor to last year's spike in inflation worldwide. The canal sees roughly 40% of global cargo ship traffic. Did you hear that? 40% of global cargo traffic goes through the Panama Canal, and they're having trouble getting through because of the drought. And it says, I wonder what's going to happen to prices if the Panama River doesn't get more rain soon. So right now, because of the drought going on, 40% of global traffic, 40% of the economy that comes from this particular form of import, export, and cargo ships is going to affect the world. That's going to increase prices. That's going to cause more problems for all of us when we need to go to the store to get whatever goods that we may need that comes from this particular realm. So this is what I'm talking about. America has got the Panama Canal is a man-made canal, including the rivers and the waters that they got up there. They reroute the waters to try to create a natural flow. Most High to hit that, drying it up. Now they're trying to, import more water and try to create a whole new route for the water to come in so they can try to free it up. That's why that's why I read that scripture in Proverbs earlier. In uh uh Proverbs 21. Which said there's no wisdom and no understanding, man, that you can come up against the most high with. Because this is, you read this particular article, they talking about how they scrambling around trying to create a whole new fake river and rerouting river and importing 50 million gallons of water and all that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that's how desperate they are to try to get things back on track. But the fact that 40% of global cargo ship traffic utilizes this route, and now it's becoming a problem where they can't even get in. Expect for harder times, y'all. Expect for a little harder times coming up. This is why America got to get hit like it is. Look, Dallas Cathedral of Hope holds a service blessing drag queens amid protests. I mean, look at this demon right here, man. And reading a kid's book to kids. Look at the eye. Look at this is completely demonic, man. Look at the facial makeup and all. What? How in the world are you trying to say that this is you look like a woman? Like this is a mockery to women, man. This is what men are saying that they see when they see you. Unbelievable. And then they parade them around with RuPaul and dating. I mean, what are modeling shows and all that? But the damn fags is. I gotta watch that because YouTube and the bots will give the sodomites are out here saying, teaching the women how to walk and how to dress with these damn top model shows and all of that. How the hell is that happening? It's a complete mockery to women, man. Cathedral of Hope, a Dallas church. And mind you, I mean, one of the brothers, man, sent the video. I think it was Elder, man, Rashab. Send a video, or was it it might have been Aladad, I can't recall. But nonetheless, a video of a damn white preacher using AI to create his sermon. That's how ridiculous these damn heathens are, man. That's why, Psalms 147, 19 and 20, the Most High said that he shows his word unto Jacob. He's not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. He's only showing his word unto us, man. These other nations, man, are trying to decipher, trying to figure it out. They ain't speaking from the word of the Lord. They got no damn salt, no flavor, no nothing. They can't. And here they are trying to use AI to create a damn sermon because they can't understand the dang book. And they asked him, well, how was it received? He was like, it kind of fell flat and it wasn't too good. Yeah, because there ain't no spirit and no spirit behind it. How the hell you expect AI to come with the spirit of the Lord, man? You freaking ridiculous. That's Esau for you, man. I should have. I'm gonna play that on the next DSTN. If Yahweh said, man, the words that I speak unto you are life and they are spirit, how the hell can AI produce that? Let's show you, man, these damn heathen, man, they have no business with our book at all. At all. In the Dallas Cathedral of Hope, a Cathedral of Hope, hope for the sodomites, hope for the drag queens. That's what I guess they're saying they're hoping, because it ain't in the Most High, it ain't in the law, it ain't in the commandments, it ain't in Yahweh Shai, it ain't in the Israel taking back and getting back the kingdom. I don't know what they're hoping in. They're hoping for more pedophilia, hoping for more drag queen story times. I mean, what are they hoping for? They're inviting drag queens onto the stage for a blessing during the 10 a.m. service. And this ain't the first time. I covered stories in the past where they've had drag queens coming up in these Catholic cathedrals, parading around, dancing, holding services, drag queen priests, and all kind of stuff. I've shown all of this stuff. Around 40 people protested in front of the church's property with signs and megaphones condemning LGBTQ people. The church held its blessing ceremony to mark Dallas Pride and respond to Texas Senate Bill 12, commonly called the drag bill. Now, notice how they are talking about. I didn't see the protest, but the people are protesting, condemning the LGBTQ people. Were they condemning the people, or were they condemning the church for doing this? See how they try to frame it to make it always sound like somebody's hating on it? The Lord hates them and what they're into. And they were protesting the church for supporting things that the Most High does not agree with. But they always try to make it they're condemning the LGBTQ people. Oh, it wasn't a church. They're sodomites and pedophiles going in them churches all the time. They ain't protesting that. They're protesting the fact that the church is sitting out allowing this to go down in there. But they need to be going around to all the damn Catholic churches doing that. How come they not going out protesting the damn Catholic priests are constantly getting busted? The church down there in Long Beach that had the pedophile priest with all the child porn I just covered last week. Where they at? They don't need us to do it. We do it all the time. Need some new fresh blood. Some of these devout Christians and Catholics to stand up to their papa and say something. But they ain't gonna do that. So they got the drag bill down there in Dallas. All right. The bill was scheduled to take effect September 1st, but it's been placed under a second temporary hold as of September 13th. Its current language could have implications not only for drag queens who could face jail time for performing in public, but also for concerts, bachelorette parties, and pride parades in the state. So Dallas is trying to stop it. The churches are sitting back trying to help it. I mean, how backwards is that? They're supposed to be standing behind what the dang bill says. And they're helping them, trying to defend the drag queens, man. There you have it. More reason why America got to go. This is what we're talking about when we read earlier about Yahushua being crucified, because they're sitting out there saying that this is Christ-like. This is okay. Hey, Christ love everybody. Come as you are. That's putting Christ to an open shame, man. Crucifying him. Look at the ex-cop in Colorado only gets probation for placing a handcuffed female road rage suspect in a police cruiser moments before a train slammed into the car. Do y'all remember this? I covered this last year. I know I've covered damn near 30 stories every time y'all see me. But 10 Tribe, Northern Kingdom sister, gets pulled over, handcuffed for a road rage incident. The cop puts her in the car that is parked on train tracks. And then the damn train comes, smashes the damn car. The woman's got brain damage, broken ribs, all kind of stuff. And hey, she just gets 100 hours of community service and probation. No big deal. Here, let's put it to visual. Let's see. Does this deserve in the court of public opinion?
Is that hard?
Hold on. In the court of public opinion, does this deserve probation? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree. Put a 7 in the chat if you disagree. Let's look at what she did.
No, that's time attack. Oh my god.
Move your car! Stay back! Was that hard?
No, that's time attack.
Now, you hear all this talk and this chatter going on. You can hear the damn horns blaring, warning and saying, I'm coming. And they're still having a conversation. Is that what's going on? Who's what? Not do you hear the horns? Get her out of here. They're in there having a whole conversation. Look at that.
Was that hard?
No, that's
Look at them still talking.
Oh my god.
Move your car! Stay back!
All right. Sevens is flying, man. Sevens is flying. So is that justice? Should she have gotten probation? I mean, first of all, what the hell are you doing parking your car on train tracks? Then you cuff the 10 tribe sister, man, and the Northern Kingdom, cuff her up. You have a whole conversations as a train is coming, blaring the horn, telling you get out the way, and they're still talking. And then once it gets close enough, oh, get out the way, move, move. Believe the sister in the car, and she was only 20. The Northern Kingdom sister that got hit, 20. She got brain damage now, broken ribs, collapsed lungs, all kind of madness has happened to her. And she was in the courtroom. I think it was on Zoom or something. And the damn cop said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." 100 hours of community service. 100 hours. That ain't nothing. I've done community service before, and they got all kind of hookups. Getting your time written off. You go into a place, you know somebody that works there, or you get develop a relationship. But you know, they writing off your hours for you. You pop up, you don't show up. Come on, man. Yeah, you know it was purposefully done by. I mean, remember them old movies like back old westerns where you see somebody getting tied up to the train tracks and knowing that a train is gonna come, getting put to death. Yeah, that type of thing. So she got 100 hours of community service. Isn't that nice? Imagine that, man. Let's continue on. So we see justice ain't gonna come from America, man. They ain't gonna give it to us. Look at this. Survivors of the Cold War era experiments on Black St. Louisians speak out in a documentary. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. I remember bringing this out years ago that the U.S. government was spraying toxic materials over projects in St. Louis, predominantly black. Look at it. Many residents of the Pruitt Ego housing project nearby North St. Louis neighborhoods witnessed something strange for a few years in the 1950s and again in the 60s. Men in protective suits regularly sprayed a mysterious mist into the air from the tops of buildings and spouts attached to vehicles driving through the predominantly black neighborhoods. Did you hear what I'm saying? And what they say? Men with protective suits was going around on top of buildings spraying the projects with uh, toxic radioactive material air, and they were doing it putting it on the tailpipes of cars. So when you see the car roll by and a bunch of smoke coming out the tailpipe, they were doing that riding around in Jake neighborhoods, poisoning Jakes. The U.S. government released documents in 1994 revealing that it had been spraying zinc cadmium sulfide, a toxic substance, in St. Louis and other cities as part of a military experiment. Well, listen, how many times have we've been talking about how they've been experimenting on our people, man? I showed a little book review regarding I got my book review, medical apartheid, and how they was doing this. A lot of hype going around Oppenheimer, right? I haven't seen the movie yet. I still plan on trying to see it. But I wonder if they covered the fact that they were running human radiation experiments. And the first one that they ran on was a Jake. And I talked about it in that book, in the Library Chronicles. Esau over here developing nuclear power and atomic energy and making the atomic bombs and all of that didn't come at a small cost. They were out here. Look at it. And this is a website you can go look at. Human radiation experiments. They're always using us as guinea pigs, man. And they want to sit back and say, that's the past. Don't worry about it. Oh, what are you worried about? We're talking about in the 50s. Our grandparents, parents born in those times, survived during these times, are still alive to talk about what was going on during these eras. You got great grandparents who can still talk about sharecropping and slavery. And these damn heathens want to run around talking about that was in the past. Let it go. It's 2023, 2022. Why are we still talking about this? We need to come together. Hate gets you nowhere. I mean, if you don't get the hell out of here with the bullish, man. This ain't some oral tradition that we never seen or heard. This is relative things that we can touch right now. Right now. When you taking 20-year-old females, man, handcuffing them and leaving them on train tracks for trains to hit them, what are we talking about here? Human radiation experiments. Let's look here. It's most likely 30. And to be fair, they got some of their own people too. That's why I said, man, Esau don't give a damn. But he's for sure going to make sure that Israel is part of his experimentation. He's for sure going to make sure some niggas and Spix is going to be part of the experimentation in the biological warfare. And throws in a couple of sprinkles of some white powder, some powdered donuts into the mix to make it look like, oh, it ain't just y'all. We do our own too. As if that makes it good. So look at this. It's most likely that 30 experimental subjects were not made aware that the nature of the injections they received, of the nature of rejections they received. In fact, records show that only one of the plutonium patients signed a consent form, which did not fully explain the medical procedures or its risks. There's no documentation of consent for any of the test subjects. So let's look down here. Eb Cade, remember that brother's name, was the first test subject. First one that they started doing radiation experiments on was Eb Cade, brother. 53-year-old African-American male who worked for an Oak Ridge construction company as a cement mixer. March 24th, 1945, he was involved in an auto accident which caused fractures in his arm and his leg. Documents from the time show that he was otherwise healthy. Over the next 2 weeks, he was given the code name HP-12, with HP standing for human product. Dr. Friedel wrote to Dr. Heppelman at Los Alamos that he had found a primary subject for a plutonium experiment. In 1945, Joseph Howland administered a plutonium dose of 4.7 micrograms to Cade, who was awaiting a procedure to set his bones. From 1933 to 1945, the maximum possible burden for plutonium had been 5 micrograms, based on limits adopted for radium, based on animal experimentation. Langham and Friedel had recently concluded that because plutonium remained in the bone for longer than radium, the MPBB should actually be set at 1 microgram. Cade's dose was nearly 5 times the limit. Look at this. They extracted 15 of his teeth. He suffered legitimate tooth decay. And this is after getting multiple injections, man. So let's stop the madness. I'm gonna just stop right there just for time's sake, because I got a couple more things to cover. But again, here we go back to them spraying down neighborhoods that our people is in as military experiments. That lets you know it's biological warfare that they declared on us. And we're just supposed to just forget about it. Oh, that was in the 50s. Well, it took them down there 50 years to come clean on it. 1994, they finally said, oh, guess what we was doing to you niggas? Sorry. I mean, where's the reparations at for the people that lost their loved ones from cancer? No, nothing? Oh, okay. A study commissioned by the Army 3 years later asserted that the experiment did not harm the health of the people of St. Louis, though no thorough analysis of chronic health problems among the people who lived in the area has been conducted. Did you hear that? This is the damn lies that the white man says. A study commissioned by the Army 3 years later. So the same people who went out there and committed biological warfare, and try to attempt a form of genocide on our people, they're the same ones who go back and say, "Oh, we did a study. And nobody got hurt. Everything was just fine. They're all good." You're spraying down a whole community with zinc, cadmium, sulfide, a toxic substance, and you say that nothing happened. Everybody was fine. People inhaling toxic chemicals and there's no change in the body? Really? Then they just said there was no thorough analysis of chronic health problems among the people who lived in the area. There was no thorough analysis for chronic health problems. So the Army lied and said that we did a study, man. 3 years, 3 years later, everybody's been good. This is why you call the so-called white man. This is why he is the devil. Period. My paternal side of the family is from St. Louis via Louisiana. And my father died from cancer. So I have questions. Don't tell me everything was good. Now, granted, he ain't lived the best of life. He was living them curses. Wasn't in my life a majority of my life. However, I had a relationship with him. And don't tell me that, oh, everything was just fine. Give me a break, man. Let's continue on. Sound of Freedom producer felt the naked breast of an apparently underage trafficking victim. I mean, this is why, the so-called white man cannot be looked at as some sort of hero, some sort of savior. Every time the Sound of Freedom, that was a good movie I'm hearing in regards to the child trafficking and what's going on, and exposing that element of Esau's evils. But here we are, allegedly, one of the producers of the film was a damn pedophile him damn self. Allegedly. But they're saying this is footage was captured. He's got busted. I mean, this is why when he speaketh fair, believe him not. 7 abominations. Remember that? Proverbs 26:25. Paul Hutchinson, an executive producer of Sound of Freedom, the film focused on heavily fictionalized. They say heavily fictionalized. So they're trying to act as if child trafficking isn't going on. I mean, come on, man. This is why Vice News is damn near out of business for putting on BS like this. Heavily fictionalized. After it was based after a true story, and they're trying to say that there is child trafficking going on, but not as the numbers suggest. I mean, if they don't knock it off, man, they used to have a whole damn campaign with missing kids on milk cartons that it was so bad. I mean, they've lost track of the thousands of kids that's crossed the border. And Slow Biden stopped the DNA testing to try to match them up with their parents back in May. He said no more DNA testing anymore. We can't find who the kids belong to. Ship them off wherever we want to. I mean, we're talking about thousands of them just from the Catholic Church alone. I mean, hell, the Boy Scouts just had to file bankruptcy, I believe, because of all of their pedophile cases that they got caught up with and getting sued. So don't talk about it's fictionalized. So anyway, touch the naked. Continuing on right here. So it says the executive producer, Sound of Freedom, of the film focused on the heavily fictionalized exploits of an anti-traffic activist, Tim Ballard, touched the naked breast of an apparently underage trafficking victim during 2016 undercover operation in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. Footage of the incident and its aftermath was captured by videographers working with Operation Underground Railroad, or OUR, the private anti-trafficking group Ballard funded. An investigator with the Davis County Attorney's Office obtained the footage and wrote detailed descriptions of it as part of a criminal investigation into Ballard and OUR carried out with the FBI. The investigation was closed this year without any charges being brought. The descriptions were included among documents obtained by Vice News through a public records request and make clear that the trafficking victim appeared to be and was believed at that time by Hutchinson and OUR representatives to be about 16 years old. So there you have it, man. White man comes in, try to play the savior. I'm gonna go save all all you little Mexican girls over there. Come on over to daddy. I'm gonna save you from the hands of one demon and come into my hands. This is supposedly on film, and he got off grabbing the breast of a 16-year-old girl. Man, I mean, that's the devil for you, boy. Let me continue. Let me continue. We got to touch on her too. I'm gonna wrap it up. I've been going for 2.5 hours almost, but we're gonna get it going. All right, look at this. New Jersey, no, New York Governor Kathy Hochul is a Hochul or Ho Chill. We calling her Ho Chill. Hey, Ho Chill, Ho Chill. I think they pronounce it Hochul, but I got a speech impediment, so she's Ho Chill. So Kathy Ho Chill. Y'all feel me on that one? All right. Kathy Ho Chill. Migrant U-turn. Video reveals how Democrat welcome asylum seekers with open arms in 2021, but today she tells them go somewhere else. So let's look at the fork tongue woman herself. I'm gonna try to play this video for y'all. 1 minute she says, "Oh, we love migrants. We want you to come on over here. Come on." No, where's the one where she says, "Here, watch this. Watch this." So Ho Chill, hey Ho Chill, Chill Ho, or Ho Chill Ho. What is it? Oh,
The terror of searching for the light
1 minute she
within,
says, "Oh,
only
you
to
migrants, you're welcome." Look at
find
this. Look at this
that you.
foolishness, man.
And the idea of the Lady Liberty in our harbor, which I talked to the young students about, has been the
And this how you know she ain't sincere because she constantly is looking down at the
story of New York
teleprompter.
for 130 years, where people who left religious persecution or left wars, left oppression, and left extreme poverty, like my own grandparents leaving Ireland with nothing.
And I'm gonna play a different video from her in a second. But notice her necklace. That's her vaxxed necklace. That's when she was pushing everybody back in 2021. Hey, make sure you go get your treatment. And we're gonna see her currently if she's still wearing that same chain or not.
Nothing. That is what we have always viewed as our responsibility to the rest of the world. But because of that, we are a far better, more enriched, diverse state. And that's a huge point of pride for all New Yorkers. As you know, the Statue of Liberty is inscribed. It says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled young masses yearning to be free, the wretched,
You know, just look at her keep looking down at the teleprompter. She can't even sincerely talk about how much she cares for migrants and America's liberty and all that. They cannot even speak that out of their mouths, their fork-tongued lips, with sincerity to talk about how much they care for somebody else. Man, they gotta read it. That's how insincere, man, and disingenuous these people are. But let her finish.
refuge to a teeming shore." And that statement encapsulates our values. We want people to come here, despite where they came from, or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you. And the richness of the culture and the diversity and the food and the restaurants that we know are going to be coming because of these efforts are beyond measure. It's an extraordinary part of our story, and it's woven into the story of New York, and it makes us more vibrant. And the idea.
Now, notice she said, once you get here, we're gonna put you slaves to work. The richness, the food, the culture, we're gonna get you niggas in the we putting you behind the hot stoves, we're gonna put you to work, you're gonna be cleaning these hotels, you're gonna do it all. Welcome to Egypt, right? But she said, here, you're welcome here. We're gonna protect you, we're gonna house you, we're gonna feed you, everything's gonna be great. As the name. But anyway, he's talking about New York is about to collapse if the government don't do something about it. Well, here she is now. Hold on. Why is this in the way? Get out of here.
The terror of searching for the light within only.
This foolishness, man. Unbelievable. See, now I want to trip.
Come to New York, we're not going to have more hotel rooms. We don't have capacity. So we have to also message properly that we're at our limit.
Where's her vax chain at? She not promoting that no more? Where's that at? Oh, everything that changed up now, huh? We got to let them know. We ain't got hotels. We ain't got no place for you. We got to get the word out.
When you come to New York, we're not going to have more hotel rooms. We don't have capacity. So we have to also message properly that we're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. But the smarter thing is to apply for asylum before you leave your country.
Yep. Go somewhere else. In other words, didn't she just say you're going to be welcome here? We're going to protect you. We're going to make sure everything's great. You know, we can't wait to get the culture and the food and everything.
Statewide, we have had an uptick in the number of positive cases.
Go somewhere else.
67,000 positive cases yesterday.
Hold on.
That's quite high. So yesterday we did 362,000.
I don't need to see you no more. Get up out of here. Ho, you got to chill, ho. Okay. So here she is being a hypocrite, fork-tongued nature of the so-called white man, double speak. Prime example of her right here. 1 minute she telling all the asylum seekers, telling all the migrants, come on over. We love you. Yeah, come on. Now they get in here and they're getting shipped all around the country, sleeping on concrete slabs outside, all jacked up, and they tell them go somewhere else. Some of them, they out here paying them out. They're getting money, they're getting food. Some of them they taking care of. But now because you done promised them the world, everybody going over there. Now you tell them go somewhere else. Oh, there they go. Here she go again. Now this is in regards to the scandemic and the new scariant. Where's her chain at? Do y'all see it? I don't.
More people are having to go to the hospital due to COVID-19, but the numbers are nowhere close to what was happening during the height of the pandemic.
That's right. And Governor Kathy Hochul says she wants to stay ahead of
it's Hochul. Oh, not Hochul? I like Hochul better.
It this year. Hayden Wentworth joins us now in studio with some more on her initiatives. Hayden.
Yes, Governor Hochul says she's not hiding it. Hospitalizations are going up, but she adds this time they will be prepared with what she says are the right resources.
I know everyone wants to be done with COVID, but COVID is not done with us.
Governor Hochul has a plan following an announcement from the CDC Tuesday night approving a new and improved COVID vaccine.
It's really
Oh, great. A new and improved one. Remember, Slow Biden said this one works. So what happened with the other one? It didn't work?
customized vaccine.
Oh, it's customized. Oh, so it's going to protect you against the new variants. New Yorkers from 6 months old are eligible. Nice. Oh, great. Have you had your pokes in your arm already? Or you need to talk to your provider if that's the case. So if you've already been going along with the regimen, you got hit once, twice. You got boosted a couple times too. You might want to talk to your doctor before you get hit up again.
It's offered by Pfizer, Moderna, and we're waiting to find out.
Oh, those are two reputable companies, aren't they? Pfizer, Moderna, nothing wrong with them. We ain't gonna talk too much about it, but we know
What age groups the FDA and the CDC were recommending should get the shot.
What does that mean for the previous vaccinations? We spoke to Dr. Edward Walsh from URMC.
Don't listen to your brother IQ. Let the doctor tell you everything. He's more qualified than me. Let's see what he got to say.
Says you might want to think about setting up that next vaccination appointment.
If you've had a vaccine in the last couple of months, it's been the vaccine that's going to be less effective than the new one. Okay, not completely ineffective, but
Oh, wait a minute. So if I got the other one, it's not gonna help me. Nothing. What? I got it for nothing. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, you said it's not going to completely.
Less effective.
Oh, hold on. Let me
Vaccination
let you say that
appointment.
one more time.
If you've had a vaccine in the last couple of months, it's been the vaccine that's going to be less effective than the new one.
Oh, so that's just if I got it a couple months ago. What if I got it a year ago? It really doesn't work, huh? If I got boosted like 6 months ago, is that doesn't help me at all either? Oh, thanks for letting me know, Doc.
Okay, not completely ineffective, but not as effective.
This time, Hochul says all nursing home facilities are required to make sure their residents don't have to risk being around others in public.
Oh, isn't that nice? They're gonna make sure that the elderly man get taken off their Social Security. They're gonna make sure that they get poked in the arm. They're gonna make sure that anybody that needs medical benefits and they're paying out through government funding, they're gonna make sure that they're taken care of. Hint, hint. Let's get rid of them so we can get that money back into the system again. We ain't got to take care of them anymore. In the words of Bill Gates, would you rather the cost of taking care of an elderly person could be the salary of 10 doctors? Would you rather pay the 10 doctors, or would you rather keep Granny alive? And according to Bill Gates, he said you can't have that conversation because that's called the death panels. And you can't talk about that, where you decide who lives and who dies. That's quoting Bill Gates, where they're making decisions on, does Granny live or do we pay the doctors, healthcare professionals? So, and if I had that video available, I would play it. Believe me, he said it. But let's let Ho Chill tell you too. And she's not wearing her vax chain. I wonder why.
ADA Traffic Control trains and certifies traffic control flaggers for construction and utility sites all across New England. From the start of developing traffic plans to pre-construction setup, equipping sites with everything needed, ADA Sales and Rental offers a variety of traffic.
New this morning, New York Governor Kathy Hochul is calling on New Yorkers to get the COVID shot this cold and flu season. Hochul says hospitalizations are on the rise again, and the new vaccine is built to be effective against new strains.
This is a new vaccine built specifically to match these circulating strains. So it doesn't matter if you've already been vaccinated. Take no comfort in that.
Whoa, what? You said it doesn't matter if you got poked in your arm. Take no comfort in that. I thought I was safe. I was protected. I thought I wasn't going to get it. I thought everything was going to be great once I rolled up my sleeve and I complied. I mean, hey, my job wouldn't even hire me unless I got poked in my arm. Now you're saying I can't take comfort in following along with the rules? Wow. The forked tongue is real, huh? Let me
against new strains.
This is a new vaccine built specifically to match these circulating strains. So it doesn't matter if you've already been vaccinated. Take no comfort in that. Thank you for getting vaccinated in the past, but that is not protecting you today.
Whoa.
So here's the simple.
And hold on. Where's her chain at? Is she wearing the chain? I thought she was finished. Let me let her finish. I'm gonna let her go. But she said, take no comfort in the fact that you follow protocol. Take no comfort because it ain't gonna help. It hasn't helped you. You need the new one.
New this morning, New York Governor Kathy Hochul is calling on New Yorkers to get the COVID shot this
really
cold
works.
and flu season. Hochul says hospitalizations are on the rise again, and the new vaccine is built to be effective against new strains.
This is a new vaccine built specifically to match these circulating strains. So it doesn't matter if you've already been vaccinated. Take no comfort in that. Thank you for getting vaccinated in the past, but that is not protecting you today. So here's the simple message, New Yorkers. Get the vaccine. That is the best way by far to protect yourself and those around you.
The new vaccine should be available in New York over the next few days. The Vermont Health Department also said the new vaccine should be available here in the coming weeks.
Yay. Yay. White man's going to come save us again. Listen to Kathy Hochul. Hochul. You know, she's letting you know. You got to poke your arm. Take no pride in that. That ain't going to help you. You need the new one that's been formulated. Trust in your enemies. Go ahead. Good luck with that. All right. Let me get through these. Let me get through these, man. I'm dragging this one on. We've been riding for a little while. Hopefully everybody's still locked in, man. Let me double check on y'all, man. Let me make sure everybody good. Y'all still awake? Anybody want to sleep yet? All right. We good to go. Couple more. We're gonna ride it out and prep for this atonement. So look at this. Mexico is on track to have its first Jewish female president. Isn't that nice? This goes to show you the infiltration and the colonization that's at play when it comes down to who's running certain countries. All right. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I really stand behind this documentary called South of the Border and by Oliver Stone. And it really gets into how America is modernizing colonization through economic warfare, coups in certain South and Central American countries, how they implement their own leadership and rule, how non-residents or non-Hispanic leaders are running these particular countries. You know, they'll get a white man from Spain to go run Argentina or Ecuador when an indigenous person will not have no say so in how the country gets ran. You know, that's just more implications of how the so-called white man runs the world. So here they are. Mexico is getting ready to have, if all things lead to where it's going, its first, quote, Jewish female. No, she's not an Israelite. No. Don't think that. No. Jewish. She's wishing she was, but she's not. And she's getting ready to run Mexico. This is why also it has to be understood that where you were born does not determine your nationality. Everybody should know that and understand that now. The scriptures let us know that the children of Israel were declared based upon our pedigrees, according to Numbers, the first chapter, the 18th verse. Listen, this woman right here, Claudia Steinbaum, that don't even sound like a Hispanic name. No Spanish anywhere, right? But look at this. The way things stand now, Mexico is headed to elect its first woman president next year. The two leading candidates in the polls for 2024 are Claudia Sheinbaum, Mexico's former mayor, and Xochitl Galvez, a senator representing the center-right opposition bloc. If elected, Sheinbaum would join the ranks of the few Jews outside of Israel, listen to this, who have been elected to their country's highest office, including Janet Jagan of Guyana, predominantly Israelite island, ran by a small hat GMO Jew, female. Ricardo Maduro of Honduras. Oh, he got the name, but he ain't got the bloodline. A GMO Jew running Honduras. Pedro Pablo Kaczynski. Look, he got the Spanish name, but the last name's a damn, come on. Running Peru. Volodymyr Zelensky in Ukraine. He's a GMO Jew running Ukraine. But look at it. Sheinbaum had Ashkenazi grandparents who immigrated from Lithuania in the 1920s and Sephardic grandparents who left Sofia, Bulgaria in the 1940s to escape the Holocaust. She is said to have celebrated holidays at her grandparents' house, but at home her family life was secular. Also, when she's amongst the GMO Jews, her grandparents, she tries to keep the holy days, but at home she's a worldly heathen. But this is who's getting ready to run Mexico. And tell me they ain't out here running the earth. Come on. 30 tons of ground beef sold in 3 states of recall because of E. coli. So if you got ground beef and you live in Georgia, Michigan, Ohio, be careful. Be careful. They're recalling it. All right. E. coli then got into 30 tons of ground beef as, food plant facilities are closing all over the place. Farms exploding, cows dying. And here we have, and the white man's out here creating lab-grown meats, telling us that's the best alternative he can come up with. And 30 tons of ground beef all of a sudden get E. coli as we talk about the rise of, Lab-grown meat wave. Go figure. Slow Biden's worried he might die before his son's legal issues are resolved. Yeah, I think so. He's got cause to worry. Definitely. This is how we know, man. We're a special people, right? ESPN says that the Colorado State-Colorado game drew a record 9.3 million viewers on ESPN. For those who don't follow the sports or whatever, Deion Sanders left a historically black college, Jackson State, to go coach the Colorado Buffaloes, which is a primary school in the realm of sports. You got HBCU; they got their own league. The black schools got their own league. It's like a tier 2 of football, right? The major leagues is Colorado State, UCLA, Alabama, all that other stuff. Since Deion Sanders has been there, it's been nothing but hype. He's delivered. Now Deion got some problems. Don't get me wrong, morally, his Christian stance and all other stuff. I'm just talking about the spirit of Israel, us being a chosen people, us being the envy of the nations. Because he got the white coaches mad. They all talking. The first 2 games he got both coaches talking crap about him. Everybody's hating on him. Everybody's hoping that he lose, right? But he's doing nothing but winning. He got both of his sons playing with him. They both starring, doing good. It just shows you the impact that one Israelite man can bring to the table, right? ESPN is profiteering off of what he brought to the table. 9.3 million viewers, the most watched late night college football game ever on ESPN. Look at this. They last year Colorado was 1-11. They won one game. Everything made a whole 360 when this Jake became the coach. Everybody's watching Colorado. Everybody's following. Celebrities is out there going to the games, and that's what I'm saying. When we talk about Israel being a special people, man, when we talk about Israel pretty much being the pulse of culture, athletics, spirit alone, like this is just one example. One man brings him and his staff and his sons to a team, and all of a sudden now they've already exceeded more wins than they had all of last year. They're getting more views, and Esau's out here profiteering like a mofo off of this. ESPN got the most view. You know how much money they made off of advertising on, because it was a double overtime game. So all the advertising money that they get from that, all because this Jake then took over the worst team. Look, out of the rankings, it's 131 colleges. They were 128th. There was only 3 teams worse than Colorado last year. And now they're a top 20 team, getting the most views on TV, the envy of everybody. All the TV stations want to air their games, all because of Israelites. Now, if we could translate that into us being great, according to the scriptures, man, and really being the standard of that wise and understanding people that Deuteronomy 4 talked about, I mean, we would shut this whole place down immediately. But I thought that was very interesting that this Jake took one of the worst teams in college football and has made them the most watched and most electrifying in less than a year. He didn't turn the whole thing around. Hollywood workers are going to flea markets and bake sales. They try to make up their income, man. We know what it talks about with Hollywood and the origins of Hollywood, the name alone coming from the holly tree or the wood of holly being made, utilized and being the wood from the holly tree, making the quote unquote magic wands for wizards and warlocks and witches and all of that. It's got deep roots into the occult and Satanism. So we see why, and we see what Hollywood has managed to do now with all of the sexual innuendo, the LGBTQ plus agendas that's getting thrown in there, the slandering and the lies that they perpetuated against our people. So the Most High is kind of tapping them on their butts a bit right now with the strike, because now a lot of the Hollywood workers, man, they out here selling cookies and going and selling stuff at flea markets, trying to, balance out their income because they out there hurting right now. They out there hurting, and it ain't looking good for them. All right. So long one today, but all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. That we were able to build on this and break it down. What? Nah, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that one. But good Lord, is bestiality alive and well? I mean, marrying a what? An alligator. That's unbelievable. Good point, Bayan. Yeah, they've got the Hubble telescopes, and they can supposedly see in the other Milky Ways and galaxies and all that. But the kids that got snatched around the corner, man, they don't even care about them. And they said it's highly fictitious, man. There's no big missing plague of children. I mean, I talked about the missing girls in Ohio. Black girls been missing for years on end now. They're coming up missing. What about the missing girls from the reservations? That's been going on heavy for years now. Let alone what's going on from the borders, man. All of the thousands of kids missing from there. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. From Egypt to Israel, man. Shalom, Mike. Yahweh Shem Shai Barakatah. And to the rest of my brothers and sisters. What do you mean they're not showing the comments? You don't see your comment, Aladad? I don't know. You know what happens too, man? I was told that YouTube has restricted some people's comments in times past too, man. I guess there's some sort of filter, man. The bots go through. It's not me. They go through, man, and restricting people from even commenting. So, it's par for the course, man. For the folly going on, man. Yeah, Jackson, I'll look into that. I'll look into it, for sure. But other than that, man, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man. The water to the fan for tuning in. We're gonna have a class for Day of Atonement this evening. Some of y'all, depending on where you're at in your locale geographically, you may already be into your atoning. If so, and you looking for some more understanding or just to stay in the spirit, tune into our class this evening. It'll be 7:00 Pacific Standard Time. We'll be holding our atonement class. Tune on in, man, Messengers of the Covenant, and we'll get to it, man, and bring this thing in together in the spirit of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, man, and the Most High, man. So other than that, man, continually fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot your messenger. I'm out of here.